Futures higher here this morning as we get some retail sales data to kick things off on a Tuesday morning here. 0.1% on the retail sales side of things for August in the U.S. That was versus a negative consensus print expected there. Negative 0.2 expected, comes out positive 0.1. If you take out autos and gas, fuel and autos, 0.2 and 0.1% respectively versus 0.3% print there to the upside. Expected coming up at 9:15, we'll get industrial production on the month-over-month basis for August. And then at 10 a.m., business inventories, some Fed speak as well, which is a little out of the ordinary ahead of the interest rate decision. Fed's Logan set to speak at 10 a.m. this morning. Powell, meanwhile, tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Make sure you're with us. We'll get the interest rate decision at 2. We'll get the press conference at 2:30. Will they go a quarter point? Will it be a full 50 basis points? It's still kind of flip-flopping. A lot of people, a lot more articles I was reading this morning pointing back towards the quarter versus the 50 basis point move. I mean, at this point, it remains to be seen what will actually happen, but something is going to happen tomorrow afternoon.
I hope. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Yeah, no, it's going to be really interesting because we really haven't gotten that, conclusive economic print that puts us one way or another, so it's your guess as good as mine. A lot of people were saying earlier in the weekend when I was reading 50 bips, a lot of new articles coming out yesterday saying 25. But lots to talk about today, Brendo. Intel, yet again, they got money yesterday and then they're doing commercial moves today. Good look. Microsoft also and Palantir getting added to that BOA favorites list.
Yeah, huge buyback for Microsoft, BOA, as you mentioned, liking Palantir. Shout out to a original meme stock as well. Tupperware declaring bankruptcy, or reportedly going to declare bankruptcy after the close yesterday. That came out. This is much lower this morning, but if you zoom out, go back to pandemic days, Tupperware got all the way up to almost $40 at the high there. This is a weekly chart. $40 at the high going back to 2021. Same thing back in 2019. So Tupperware set to maybe make its debut on the OTC market. Mendel's supposed to join us. Jeff Mendel from OTC going to come up 10:45. I'll confirm with him, but 10:45, I believe, this morning. Happy Tuesday, guys.
Happy Tuesday. That's
10:45.
Yes, happy Tuesday. It's definitely a happy Tuesday. We get a 2-day Fed meeting, and that makes us all very happy because... Happy birthday, Sean. What do you happy Tuesday? Happy birthday, Sean.
Okay.
Well, I actually thought
everyone's really excited about Tuesday over here.
No, man. Happy birthday. And because I always
forget
we were going
to talk about our fantasy and we were going to talk
Can we not talk about football?
Getting eliminated.
This is a happy moment right now.
10 teams eliminated, Neil. We had 10 survivor picks, Neil. I thought you were supposed to be the smart one. We lost all 10.
In my defense, I done messed up in our suicide pool, but yeah.
No, it's not you. I mean, I don't. The Ravens lose. The Bengals
lose. The Bengals
Philly
lose.
loses last night. Congratulations to Sharif. He got the Philly loss that he was looking for last night. Yes, it is my 21st birthday. Thank you, hamster.
Oh, I thought it was 22.
Appreciated that. Oh yeah, wait, no, it is 22. It is 22. Yeah, it was 21 last year. That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, hopefully we can get 21 winners on today, but. Yeah. So, no, it's a happy day.
It is a happy day.
Ramin came in with some sweet potato something over there we saw. I don't know what it was, like a whole box. He went to Costco or something?
It's like a box. It looks like crackers and cookies. All I could read was sweet potato something. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure because Ramin is so nice, she's going to be sharing because she usually does.
Oh, that's nice. Maybe it was for my birthday. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, Palantir. Oh, Crow.
It already broke?
Just broke, yeah. Broke through 37. We might just take this long, even right now. I mean, there goes Palantir. Up again. We were talking about this not selling. I don't think there's any reason to. Couple days, I guess the 23rd, right, is I guess Monday when we go into the S&P. But at the end of the day, more contracts added to that BOA list. I have written down here on the sticky note, which I'll just publish in a second, 37, but it looks like we're through it. I think maybe we could take something in the pre-market. The problem with taking stuff in the pre-market is, and we were trading Intel after hours yesterday, which was really good. The minute we got that 22 break, that was a good long on Intel. Palantir, as long as the volume's there, it kind of looks similar to what's happening in the open market. You can get a couple hundred shares every level. Looks pretty simple. Plus, you get some of the dark pools. Not as frequent, obviously, in the pre and post. But yeah, a lot of ARCA trading going through here with P's, NASDAQ with T's and whatnot as you read the tape. So pretty safe to trade some Palantir here right now today. But what I was going to say is I don't want to get caught up thinking one way, you know, like this could dip 50 cents off the open and then you take a little bit of a hit there, but maybe we'll try it.
I was kind of thinking it would be.
Hey, it's my birthday. Maybe we'll go along some Palantir.
Shocking.
We'll do something different than normal. We're long.
If you want to do something crazy, go long Tupperware. No, just kidding. You can't trade that anymore.
I just blindly punched into 06s right now. So this is risk management at its finest here on Trader TV Live.
Here we go.
10 days, Brendo.
Tupperware. Happy birthday, Sean, of course.
Happy birthday,
enjoy
Katina,
it.
man.
Doesn't look a day over 25. A couple things to mention here. We kind of glanced over it, but we got Canadian CPI there at 8:30 as well. We're there.
How we doing?
Sharif, we're there.
2?
2.
Wow.
On the nose.
Okay.
2% on the nose. Was expected to come out 2.1%. Prior was 2.2. We come out 2 flat. So we're there.
Well, people are saying we're going to get a couple more cuts by the end of the year, right?
Yeah,
so
at least.
That makes sense.
I mean, the economy in this country is nowhere near as healthy. I mean, the U.S. obviously showing cracks of late as well, but the economy on this side of the border struggling, to say the least. Meanwhile, market to the upside here this morning. We are positive, but only just 0.3 here for the S&P. But I mean, the March higher here continues into what is expected to be this cut coming up this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon. The 2-day meeting starting today. I mean, we'll see. I think today could be a little bit tricky in the sense that a lot of people are going to be sitting on the sidelines, I think, ahead of tomorrow. Agree.
I mean, especially with 25 bips. And this is the thing, right? I mean, do you spook the market if you come with 25 or if you come with 50 bips? Are you kind of signaling to the market that you know something, perhaps with the job market, some slack, some data that others are not seeing that warrants a 50 bips? So, you know, whichever way you take it, from what I've read from analysts, it's going to be looked at as either doing too much or not enough, or you're late. They always seem to be late, Brenda, whether they're increasing rates or cutting rates. So
yeah, it's so hard to get the timing right. Tech, meanwhile, back higher for the most part across the board today. Microsoft with a monstrous $60 billion in a buyback being announced. So a nice gap higher here this morning. For Softy, I mean, this is a weekly chart. So 2 weeks in a row here setting up to be green, guys.
Yeah, and just to put that in context, I mean, it does like 18 million a day. You know when you're talking about $1 trillion company, but 60 billion is 60 billion on Softy. Just quickly, I thought there'd be a little bit of a change with 1 day left to go, a day and change before we get this rate cut. It's still 65.35, and I'm going to keep checking this to see if it makes any kind of a move. But I think the highest I saw was 67 at one point late yesterday, but it's still hanging around that 2/3 mark. And this is what we meant about it being a contested change. It's new because I don't think we've been in this situation for quite some time. Look, Microsoft, it might break some pre-market tops literally right now, up 2%. The good news for Softy in here is, well, I mean, good news is it's been trending up like everything else, but it's already made a breakout on the daily, coming right into this upper level resistance where it's got some room to 445. You look at this one. I think there's a wick above 445, but so we talk about opens and closes mattering the most. So this is the 23rd, I think, of July, and you had a wall at 445. It dipped. That was the last time that dip was actually the last time we saw it down underneath $400, and I think it's got room to 445 today. Simple as that. I mean, 440 is obviously going to have to hold. I was sort of thinking you'd get some tests of some of the pre-market lows this morning. Palantir doesn't want to oblige that. I don't know if Microsoft does as well, down at 437. But on any up day, I think you got room to 445. I don't know if you break it day before the Fed, but Microsoft, that's only 1% for it to go $5. It's worth keeping that in mind too. I like the buyback. Always keep in mind with buybacks, when you have a stock or a company that's doing it, we've said this before, in that last 10 minutes of the day, they can't do the buybacks. So oftentimes, if a stock has been getting that kind of a bounce on maybe a weekday, you watch for that to maybe roll over in the final 10 minutes of the day. We'll see what happens in the future, but I think Microsoft looks pretty strong to me. Room to go.
Yeah, I think, breaking through 440, I mean, I think that's an awesome level. I mean, okay, we've just got 10% in a week and a half on this monster company. Like, absolutely huge recovery down to the 200. It's like everything that, if it's a Mag 7 name and you're at the 200 period moving average, it's like, just get us a couple good stories and you're going to rip right back up. So I really like that trade. Here's 445. I mean, Neil just mentioned sort of that, 445, 446. I do think it gets to that. And then, yeah, just breaking here into this area 440. Let's just get above it, and then we test these next candles. So I really like a 440 long on Microsoft. I think it's like, I think it's a definite long. So we're just going to have to wait to see if we have to take the break of it upside once the market opens. We still have an hour until this market opens, right? So, again, love the $60 billion buyback. I mean, everybody went crazy for Microsoft's 110, or sorry, for Apple's 110. Now Microsoft slapped 60 back on it. So, I mean, it's a great story. They'll keep on supporting the stock as long as they can. Yeah, through earnings come October, we'll see what this company can do. But I really like Microsoft. I think they have one of the bigger moats around them, especially with ChatGPT and stuff.
This one, VVPR, a better part of 50% here, announcing a strategic merger with FAST, F-A-S-T, which is Fastenal, valuing the combined company at $1.13 billion. They're going to issue about 5.72 million shares at 101 each. So VVPR, all kinds of volume behind this as well. Already 4.5 million, moving up in a hurry here.
Yeah, Brando, I was just looking at the daily chart here to kind of get a sense of its DNA. It looks like it is a former runner. So if you like trading these small cap gappers or these ones moving on news, about a $9 million market cap, have a look at what it did in April. It really got going off that $1.50 and was able to squeeze to 10. So this one can definitely move, Brando. I'll be watching this one today.
Yeah, a lot of people just mentioning that. There was a high volume alert on FAST as well, but I didn't see anything actually happening there. It's not even doing anything, but VVPR guys moving around.
And I don't even see any prints on fast there at all. That's interesting that you're not even getting any movement out of it. But VVPR is certainly on the move. I just want to make sure I can check out the float. I want to be right about that. 29% short and 3 million float. So hefty short float of what is a small number of shares out there available. It's already done 5 million into that 3 million float. Yeah, this one could be a little spicy today. What do we got? Like 260 down here was prior resistance. It's at 260 right now on VVPR. So wow, they really started to sell that one off. Like it failed $3. It's going to have to show some kind of a higher low, but the volume's through the roof, relatively speaking. And with the 29% short float and that 3% and that 3 million float, this looks like it should be something I wouldn't necessarily want to fight. You fight shorting these ones, you get in trouble. There's a little bit more room to the upside when they start to get going. I just want to make sure we understand the structure of this deal before getting into them. Surprise fast is not moving at all, but VVPR, yeah, the volume looks really good here. I think that 260 is going to be key to hold at the open. Previous support turned into a resistance, or resistance turning into support. That's an easy way to go. Already bouncing a little bit here on VVPR. I don't know if I want to take this and throw it on the level 2 away from DJT, because DJT wanted a flat bottom break this morning that I paid locates for. And we'll see if we get it. 17 on DJT looks pretty good for a breakdown. But VVPR, yep, love the volume. I think this is probably looking like the better of the runners so far.
I didn't want to forget about Affirm today because we want to look at this breaking that $45 mark. We got to that yesterday, got to 45.05 or 03, and then fell back in, and it happened, basically twice. I mean, I guess this is once, twice, and that's kind of 3 times. But into here between 1 to 2, and then again right at the end of the day, and you even had a chance, I guess, to go at there. Market NASDAQ was down yesterday. Looks like it's going to be up today. So this is definitely on board for another runner. Breaking through 45 on Affirm, and this is why we like it again. Right there, it's sort of the month high here. We'll see if it can break through, and even if you do break through, there's been plenty of past sort of resistance up to this area. So we've been here. I mean, this goes all the way back to the beginning of the year, where Affirm had problems in this area. So I could see this also being a top to look to fade through. So it's not on the sticky note for a trade because I don't know if it's going to be that great. But if the market goes, this could be something worth it. You saw the fail yesterday on Affirm. So if you're going to trade a firm today, like this time we fail, we come back in 50 cents. You know, then we kind of fail again. We pulled back, let's just say right there to 64, 65 before trying to go again. And then obviously the much bigger move at the end of the day. So I think if you give this name, you know, between 50 to 75 cents, that's 75 cents down there off the fail. That's 50 cents. And then there's 40. So I think if you give it between like 50 to 75 cents worth of room on a firm, I think you might be able to have yourself a trade on a breakthrough 45, just 10% short float.
We're going to have a brand new guest joining us here on the show this morning. Michael Katz coming up, CEO of Trade the Pool, trader, tons of years of experience. We'll talk to him about what he's looking at this morning in a second. But I want to mention a couple of things here. There's individual catalysts around some of the semiconductors. We mentioned Intel briefly there. NVIDIA up 1.2% here this morning, just took out the highs, bit of a pullback right now. We mentioned Micron yesterday, but semiconductors quietly back higher here once again this morning.
Yeah, Brendo, and I was looking here at some of the headlines for NVIDIA. Looks like they are going to be sending some of their chips to the Middle East, specifically Abu Dhabi. We heard about some of the possible restrictions that could have been imposed on Saudi Arabia. It's not the only country in the Middle East, obviously. So UAE is supposed to be the company there, G42, setting up to get some of the NVIDIA chips. So good luck for them. Another group of companies, Brendo, that want to get their hands on their chips.
Yeah, we had that negative move for Micron yesterday. Even it, you know, gapping higher here, 1.3%, a little bit less than NVIDIA, guys, but back above 88 here for MU.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Micron just yet. You gotta give me some convincing on Micron. It's still in the bottom end of that range. I feel like Micron, look, if it gets above this 91.5, great. I think it's made that little bit of a double bottom, and then you're breaking out. So step one is for a falling stock to make a bottom. Step two is for it to break off of that bottom. So until it does this, I think at least until the Fed day, you got 91.5 in there as a resistance spot for MU. If we have a strong enough day, I'd be looking to fade into that one. Actually still have the old resistance line drawn on Friday's high. So, you know, if there is a strong push up in the market, I still think Micron's a fade up there until it proves it can break out that 91.5. As I just heard, and Sean's ready for it, so I hope we're all ready.
I'm ready. Yeah. I put the hat on yesterday, and everyone was asking me, what's up with the hat? So right now, you know, we've been talking about it for a minute, so let's go over to the desk and find out what Trade the Pool and what our guest is all about.
Yeah, good day to have him. Michael Katz, CEO of Trade the Pool, on the show for the first time. Great to have you. First off, Michael, welcome. It's an exciting week heading into the Fed, as we were mentioning. Tomorrow, you're a guy that has all kinds of years trading big tech, or years experience trading big tech, some momentum style trades. We had a little bit of relative weakness in this area of the market yesterday. Today, as we were saying, back higher here across the board. It looks like some individual news catalysts. What are you looking at this morning?
Yeah, of course, I'm looking at the NASDAQ just reaching that resistance level at the top. So I'm actually shorting that specifically now and ready to add more if it will go a little bit higher as well. Besides that, I can share my screen and show some charts, but I'm, of course, looking at NVIDIA, Tesla, Affirm, as you mentioned, Dell also popping through my radar. So yeah, those kind of stocks right now is in my radar. Besides that, also looking at the VIX, that looking pretty nice to bounce up.
We'll get to your screen here in a second. The guy's just setting it up in the background here. But Michael, maybe let's take a step back for a second and give us an overview on your history, your experience, the style of trader you are.
Yeah, sure thing. So am I sharing? Okay.
We're working on it.
Okay, cool. No worries. So I've been trading for a while now. You can see the gray color in my beard and no hair in the head. So I've been day trading stocks and futures. And, you know, I started just as a normal kid coming from gaming to the market, learning about the stock market, learning about strategies, risk management, all the good stuff that we all learned from the beginning. A lot of, just trying and failing and trying and failing. We all been through that as well. And eventually I get to be the head of the traders in a prop firm, in a local shop prop firm. After that, a few years later, I became the CEO of TradingPool and running ever since. And when it comes to trading, it's super individual, and you got to find your own way and your own niche in order to really succeed in that, right? One will tell you that only reversal will work, and the other one will tell you that only trend following will work, and one will tell you go only for penny stocks, and the other one will tell you go for the tech. So you just need to find your own way, your own path in that. And I guess it just takes a bit time, but besides that, I'm still loving it till this day.
That's the most important part. You mentioned briefly there, you keep an eye on the VIX in the corner of your eye. You keep an eye on the futures as well. Kind of sounds a little bit familiar as to how we approach the market here from a whole. When it comes to volatility specifically over the past week, 2 weeks heading into the Fed, we've seen the market overall kind of consolidating here at the highs. What have you seen with the VIX?
Yes, I mean, for me, I'm a short-term trader, right? So if I'm trading the futures, my average hold will be 8 hours. If I'm trading stocks, it will be roughly an hour. And what I'm looking for through the VIX is just looking for that major supply-demand areas as well. So if I think I'm sharing my screen right now.
You are.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So for example, looking at the VIX hourly chart, I just really doing the basics, right? Just marking the major levels, the area where it bounced from or got rejected. And right now, as you can see, we're still playing with the same support level that we had as a resistance like just 2 weeks ago or so. So in this case, it makes sense for me to see another bounce to the upside, trying to reach those resistance areas at around 18.5 or 19. The other option will be dropping down all the way to the 15.5. In that case, the market, of course, will go up and maybe try to catch the reversal in that point. So in most cases, I would look to sell the top or buy the dip on the market, either the Qs or the NASDAQ future, or trading the big techs and doing roughly the same. So I'm always keeping an eye on the VIX just to get that correlation between what you see in the market. You will see, for example, a resistance in the NASDAQ, and you will see support, or the S&P, and you see support on VIX, like you're seeing right now. So VIX is at around support, NASDAQ just reaching those highs from late August. So it makes sense for me to see a drop, not necessarily, this is an hourly chart, so not necessarily today, but eventually within this range between the 19,700 all the way to the 19,900. I'm guessing we will see another drop.
When we look at what is to come tomorrow, obviously a volatility event based on news, is that something you will dip your foot into and take a position maybe around the news, whether it's positive or negative, or are you a guy that just goes hands off for the Fed?
Yeah, in most cases, I will sit that up. Yeah, maybe if you take me back like 10, 15 years ago, I will be a little bit more aggressive and more wild. But these days, I will definitely wait for the movement to occur. I'm guessing I'm in that short right now. So I'm guessing if I won't get my result by the end of tomorrow, I will see how it goes, the news, and then from there, we'll make the decision.
Michael Katz, CEO of Trade the Pool. Great to have you. Best of luck today.
Thanks so much, guys. Love the show.
Big thank you to Michael there. And always important, we talk about this all the time, like you need to have a structure to your ideas, like starting with the basics, and which really is the fundamentals. Okay, well, what are you expressing the trade in? If you want to trade futures, make sure you're keeping an eye right now on the VIX. Sometimes I think we'll look at what treasuries are doing. But there's another name that Michael mentioned, and I think sometimes we forget, because Palantir has been doing really well. I'm not going to take anything away from Palantir and what it's been doing, but sometimes we seem to forget that.
I mean, it's been doing all right.
It's been okay, but Dell's going in as well on Friday, and Dell's been up like 7 days in a row here. And when you look at Dell, and I know Michael was mentioning this name as well, and I saw that up, but you could see it on his charts. It's got a bit of a flat top rate. It's hard to see in there, 120.5, as it's been trending higher, and all it's been doing every single day, day after day after day, is just continue to round higher and higher and higher. Well, yeah, that's blocking things off here. There you go. You guys did it for me. No, and I think yesterday was a good example of if you had some patience with Dell. We talk about support and resistance, supply zones. Very clear supply zone from Thursday and Friday at about $112. Well, it dipped into 112 at the open and then made its eventual breakout. And today, if you get a dip, I think the simple answer would be, hey, let's see what happens if it can get down into the previous close. But if you never see that previous close, I think you've got room to 120.5. I don't know if you're going to get there right away, and this is what I mean about 120.5. I think you break out that price if you get there as a trade. But when you have a trend like this, the first thing I think is, well, you should be looking for some longs. And pre-market, I think the old pre-market low kind of dip and rip trade can be in there for Dell. If you end up losing the top, you kind of know what's going on when you lose that pre-market low, and then you've got room to the previous close to wait for it to find supply again. But yeah, Dell should be on the radars as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Up a couple of points today, going into the S&P 500 on Friday.
Yeah, I think the big thing, well, first of all, wow, there it goes right now. Bang, there goes Palantir, just talking about it a little bit. We're long at 06s out here for a dime at 16. We just got out at 10%. Let's see if it continues to go a little bit higher here as we're trading Palantir long again. We talked about punching into that off 37, and this is an idea. We're going to go through our watches and everything like that. I want to thank everybody for the kind notes today. But there it is right here, Palantir long, 36.50 dip buy. Well, that didn't happen, but the 37 break did. So, the contract today, more contracts plus added to the B of A list. We like that stock. It's upside. It's Palantir, and it's still going. It's a Dara at the big screen.
Really interesting upgrade and downgrade list here today, starting with Hewlett-Packard up almost 4% with this upgrade from BofA Securities. Shopify getting a nod from Redbird Atlantic. Dell Technologies, as discussed, heading into the S&P 500 very soon and getting this upgrade from Mizuho up about 3% here in the pre-market. GE Vernova also up about 2% with this BofA Securities upgrade. The downgrade side kicking things off with Solar Edge down about 6% with a downgrade from Jefferies Financial. This company also announced recently announced the resignation of its CEO, so SEDG could be in for some trouble here. We have Carvana just yesterday after running up on a price target increase, getting this downgrade today from BofA Securities, though it looks like they're still trading higher pre-market. Frontier Communications getting a price target increase and a downgrade from JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan also downgrading Viasat. Pretty interesting list here, guys.
Weird.
Yeah, I mean, just like the catalyst ends up being an upgrade or a downgrade, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything for a lot of people. I don't know if it means a ton for me, but Shopify is about to go to 77. It's about $1 away from the 77 level, which has been here on the daily. Then at that point, all you got left is the earnings fail top at 79. So it's got room to go 77 to 79. If 79 breaks out, this has been a pretty good run for Shop. First, you had the reversal at $50. Like, how about that for a reversal candle? That said, everything reversed on August 5th. You got a clean 50-period bounce, about as clean as you're going to get off the 50 SMA on the daily, and then a nice little 2-day maybe consolidation on the 200-period moving average before making the next move to the upside. Now, 77 is resistance till it's not. So there's no guarantees when you see a level like this that it's actually going to break. But, I mean, 77 breakout on Shop. I'm actually going to add that to the list. Of those names, we just talked about Dell on the way to the upside. So I think Shopify is the one that stands out that we haven't mentioned on that list.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just looking at Shopify myself there, and I was like, what was Shopify even doing down there? I mean, down to that $50 mark. What a great move back upside now for Shopify as we just check out the account there. All right, so I was looking at the NASDAQ again, looking like it wants to break now yesterday's high, and we're right into there right now, so 68. Watch out for that. I actually looked a little bit closer at it. I mean, it's been a really nice recovery. I'm hoping that this chart would load up a little bit quicker here. Hold on a second. Okay, here it comes. So 70. So what I was trying to get at here, all right, let's go. Keep going, keep going. Apologize how long this is taking to get going. But right here is 69.50. So I kind of want to see the action that happens in and around 69.50 on the TQQs. So this is the NASDAQ, of course. So if we can get a bounce back into this area, I'd like to look at that long. But then if we break 70, is where I think we can take it. So between $69 and $70 is going to be an area where I kind of want to see what winds up happening. It might be a 69.50 break now that I'm looking at this more. For some reason, I thought 70 was going to be a little bit better for that, but maybe it's 69.50. So yeah, 69.50-ish on the TQQs for a break long would be something to look at, and then you can play off VWAP wherever that happens to be at the time. So yeah, 69.50, not 70 for the NASDAQ today.
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know here on a Tuesday morning. We'll start off with a look at the market.
All right, guys, we've moved on to the new contract. We are now charting on the December 20th, 2024 contract, and the levels are a little different here. So we closed out yesterday right at that 5,700 point. 56.99 is the closing print from yesterday. The overnight high kind of takes us right into that support area that we've been consolidating at since the middle of August, 57.25. That's the overnight high. Let's see if we can take it. If we can take it, use it as support. If we give it up, we're using 5,700 as support.
All right, let's get through this quickly. Intel giving it back in a hurry here this morning. It was positive, but on its way back down. I mean, still positive. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you go down to the description of this video, hit the link for the watch list, enter your email address, and you'll get the watch list delivered right to your inbox every single day for nothing. It's free, so why not? Here we go. Just went through 4%. Straight downside right now. We're giving back most of what happened after the close yesterday for Intel. AWS collaboration announced, and some more details on the manufacturing side of things.
Yeah, this is really interesting, Breno. This is like one of the biggest shakeups they've done in a while. So here's a look. They're going to basically give their foundry business its own independent board and the ability to raise outside capital. That doesn't mean they're going to spin off the foundry business. That's actually still being considered. So we'll look at that. Then there's the spinoff of the Altera business, which is their programmable chips division. They're going to spin that off. And then there's been manufacturing adjustments as well. They're pausing fabrication efforts in Poland and Germany, and they're basically scaling back some of their plans for the Malaysian fab. They're going to basically look at, focusing on the U.S., but nice deal here with AWS as they look to kind of make chips together.
Yeah, maybe some quick profit taking underway right now, guys, here on Intel back downside.
Yeah, I'd say so. And, sort of like in the aftermarket, that daily chart level, that 22, the previous earnings resistance, that was always going to be key. So if you can't hold on to this, like earnings dump, sellers at 22, if you don't have buyers above 22, then you're going to be in trouble. They tried to hold it. It's now broken down. This is kind of an over-under level for me. Unless the buyers like this above that 22, which is still possible. We still have almost a half an hour before we get to the open here. Then this could easily be back in the 21 range. 20, I think, is a pretty easy buy. If it, for some reason, goes all the way down there, I think that's unlikely. 21's where we close. I think you would settle down there and find some buyers. As it was going sideways on a good run before this news. And it just doesn't mean they're in the clear. It just means that they're taking things seriously in terms of trying to do something new. Whether or not they actually spin off and take that foundry, let that foundry go out on its own and do an actual IPO for it. We'll see. I mean, I could see that happening down the future. Just break it up. They've already said that suddenly is going to take more, like twice as long as it was anticipated in terms of making any kind of money. So I think they've got to hunker down and focus. 22 is going to be key. There it is.
There it is. Ooh, mine's a little more ripe. I'll take the ripe one.
I kind of like a little more green. So I like the little firmness, but thank you. Thanks,
I'll take my shot, Randy.
Appreciate it.
Randy, we lost all 10 picks in our Survivor pool in 2 weeks, so I'll make sure everybody knows.
He's not even into football.
He doesn't know about that. Yeah, yesterday in the after hours here, we were trading. Hey, get my face off of there. I'm trying to show something.
So bad.
There it is. Hey, what's going on? Let's go. But yesterday we hit Intel right away as soon as it broke that 22. So we knew we liked that level there yesterday. So that was a good little trade. And then here's what wound up getting out at 23.20. We traded this in the after hours on that break. We were just sitting here, still logged in, Randy, and it was about 403, 402, punched that long, breaking through $22. Now, the reason why that was an absolutely no-brainer trade, A, there was a lot of liquidity in the after hours. Naturally, I'm sitting here watching it, but that was that break right there. We knew we were waiting for a very, very long time for Intel to break through $22. When that happened in the after hours, we smacked it, made more money yesterday in the after hours than I probably will on it today, just because it was a clean break. And I wrote down on the note today that it would probably be a tough trade. And we had 22.65 as a long if it broke the pre-market high, which is what we wrote down on the sticky note. That came in and then went whoosh right back down to the downside. So I'm pretty happy with this 22.65 area, but the whoosh, Randy, has already come into play here for Intel. So I feel like you want to buy this name at some point today. You're under VWAP, you're under everything. I like a retake of VWAP whenever that is. So maybe it's $22 by the time we get open. I think you got to stay long Intel. It's just a matter of finding out when. So whoosh, there it is. That's right, Randy. I like that one. Oil battled back yesterday, XOM, since Randy's here.
Nice point.
Oh, 112. Okay. All right. So a little bit of a move back up there yesterday. Last time we were looking at this, we were down here at that 110. So we're up a smooth $2. I'd still like to see it above 115, but hopefully after that, we can get going. All right. We are running a little bit behind time, but we'll get more talk. I would love a coffee.
Please.
That would be
Thanks,
fantastic. Let's go over to the desk with Brendo.
This portion of the show brought to you by Moomoo. They're shaking up the investing game with their cash sweep program, offering an incredible 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, far surpassing typical stock returns. Your cash earns 24/7, and you can access it anytime to reinvest when the market turns. Plus, sign up now to snag 15 free stocks and bonuses up to $2,300 if you are in Canada. Don't let your money sit idle. Make it work for you. Let's move on. Microsoft, back to the upside. If you're with us in the first half an hour, we were touching on the nice gap here for Softy on a $60 billion buyback.
Yeah, almost up 2% here in the pre-market, Brendo. So they raised their quarterly dividend as well by 10% to about 83 cents per share. The dividend will be paid to shareholders of record on December 12th of this year, but you got to be shareholder of record by November 21st. Separately, the board of directors did approve a new share buyback program for around $60 billion. There is no expiration date on this, Brendo, but it can be terminated at any time.
7 days in a row here for Softy to the upside.
Like this rally for the last 7 days, there's a lot of stocks that have this at worst 6 out of 7 days or 7 out of 7 days the upside. Like we were showing Dell was the same thing as well. So big strong move there for Microsoft. Like whether or not, look, it might just break out the pre-market high here. I know I was sort of saying I was looking for like dip buys this morning for some of these stronger names that are trending up. And if you get it, that pre-market low at 37 is going to be in there. But this could easily just grip it and rip it and break out to get to 445 on Microsoft. So looking very strong already. I mean, up a couple of points. I mean, you can't do any, when you're 1.8 to the upside, NASDAQ's only 0.7. I think the day before the Fed here, you're going to want to be trading things that are going to do a little extra volume or that have a bit of a better move in the overall market, just in case we don't do anything crazy in the market. You're going to be looking at the right names. I think that's why things like Palantir stand out. Intel's going to stand out one way or another. Obviously, a firm in that 45 that we waited for all day long, or wasn't all day. I guess we just waited all afternoon long for that one. And yeah, I like Microsoft. I don't know if it's going to make that breakout right away at 9:30. I don't want it. Like if it happens before the open, I don't really want it before the open. The liquidity is like normal Microsoft liquidity. No, firm is going to break.
Firm's going to go right now.
It's going to break. Firm's going to go before the market opens, I think. Microsoft's more like a maybe it will.
Yeah, I don't want
right
to take
there.
a firm before the market because the shorts won't panic, I don't think, yet until the market opens. All right, so yeah, Microsoft, I mean, exactly what Brennan and Neil's saying. I think as well. Microsoft 440 long, $60 billion buyback. The day chart, as Brendan said, 7 straight up days looking very, very strong. So here it is right here, 440 long on the buyback. Let's just keep on going with this sort of thought here on Softy. I would, if this name split, oh boy, would I be over the moon with that. There's no talk about that or anything. And I'm just talking about as a day trading piece because there's always tons of liquidity and the moves are so sweet. I mean, this used to be my favorite stock. It's getting a little expensive. You know, this and Meta, just sometimes the way the spreads are, it's difficult to trade with bigger shares, but that just means I got to lower the shares. So I feel more comfortable doing that and then trying to wait for that big move. So yeah, man, I am all over this 440-40. It's like ESPN, that 40 for 40, 30 for 30, something like that. But 440 right there, I like that break. And I think that's been the high this morning. Up 2%, much stronger than the market. Reasons to get in here and buy Microsoft, whether or not people have known about this buyback or just to strengthen the market. We had the best week last week of the year off of the worst week in 2 weeks. So, you know, Microsoft gets hit when times are bad, but really gets going when times are good. And you're going to be if the Fed tomorrow does 25 points, not 50, I think Microsoft can get back to 460, 465, and maybe even take out the high tomorrow. The thing is like the $440 stock. So, you know, a 5% move in a name like this is $20, which breaks the high. So if we can get a good day today in and around 445, 450, then I think tomorrow we get all-time highs on Microsoft if the Fed cooperates. So I'm there. I already have the order to go long. If we break 440, again, not going to execute. I have an order type that's not going to go out in the pre-market. Will only go out in the open market. So,
that's one of the good things here at Real Trading is we have multiple different stop orders we can use. Some which will trigger anytime, and then others which will only happen during market hours, which is key because then you can set it and forget it. You're not going to get filled at 8:40 in the morning or 9:11.
Yeah.
Just keeping my eye on Apple here. I was just reading a note. Apparently iPhone 16 already selling at a discount in China, with AI delays cooling demand over in that country. So if you remember Apple with the gap down yesterday, we're still kind of stuck in that range from yesterday. Not really doing anything on that headline, but we'll keep an eye on it. Palantir, meanwhile, session highs here. Bank of America adding it to their U.S. #1 list, and the rally continues here.
It does, Brendo. Good look. Already up 2.25 here in the pre-market. Here's a look. Analyst Mariana Perez Mora reiterating the buy rating on Palantir and boosting the price target to $50. She likes Palantir and says that the company could continue to grow significantly. Real use customer cases at that AAPL con that they held a few weeks ago, or I think last week. And Operation Warp Speed apparently is a good new tool, she says, for the industrial businesses. Separately, they did have a headline with this Nebraska medicine. I believe they're called, let's see what they're called here. I don't even know what they're called. Nebraska Medicine. Yes, that's what they're called. Nebraska Medicine, Brendo. And they're going to use their AIP platform here to improve healthcare outcomes. Kind of an easy name, dude.
You had it the first time.
I thought so. I don't know what I did.
Better look at Apple, as I was mentioning. The gap down yesterday, and then we just kind of went sideways. Same story so far today here.
Palantir, B of A likes. Yeah, I mean, Palantir many like, I feel like. But yeah, nicely added to the list. I think it's going to be a trade. We're already in it. It broke through 37. It's been really super hot, but the other thing is that Neil mentioned this about Friday when I wasn't here, and you actually see it happening as well yesterday. You get dip opportunities in the name, right? Like yesterday we opened up thinking like, oh man, maybe we can break 35.80 if that was the pre-market high. Well, it does that, and it goes about 20 cents, then breaks back through and retests pre-market bottoms again of 35.50. So you get like 70 cents right away, then you bounce off the 200 and sort of absorb that and absorb again, and all the way back up and closing near the highs, in the midday. And then we just had that sell-off at the end of the day. And we had talked about actually shorting Palantir off the 50-period moving average. And remember, we got out of it. So we had Palantir here at 36.40 yesterday. So we did buy this dip, got out at the 50 once we realized this was happening, and able to get out of the way of this move. So can it happen again? There's the 200-period moving average. So 36.78. I'm actually bidding right now 36.75. So I'll change this around. VWAP I think is good as well. You know, we went up and down early. So that's why I'm trying to get a little bit out. Our best out was 16. We just got some more out at 13. Let's see what winds up happening. We're only long at 06. Hasn't been fantastic. Thought it would have got going a little bit more. And again, it could be a sell situation. Every day is a new high for Palantir, right? These are all not all-time highs. We talked about We got into $44, $45 on some of that squeeze meme-ish stuff, but this really is all-time highs. So I think Palantir continues to work off of these levels. So I'm going to switch this order. Let's just put it at 36.80 and be happy with that. We could get a flush. And what I meant to show, actually, I was thinking about what am I trying to show everybody here, is this. There is also a buy imbalance on Palantir. You don't have it?
No. Well, why is there an imbalance on Tup's going to trade today?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there is a sell imbalance on Tupperware, but that doesn't mean it's going to open.
I don't think it's. I didn't think.
So someone just might be wanting to get out of 400,000 shares, and as you can see, there's almost no paired volume. So I don't think Tupperware. I mean, the trading so far today
I don't think that's
is 362 shares so far on Tupperware on the New York market. So we'll probably wait to get that flipped over. But yeah, Walmart a sell, Palantir a buy. Over here, I'm sure you think similarly about Palantir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised to see Palantir for a buy and bounce. I feel like we've seen a few 100,000 almost every single day. And the key with Palantir is it's been along since the official announcement at some point every day, but it's not always right at the open because every single day since the announcement, it's at least tested the pre-market low. Test of the pre-market low, test of the pre-market low, test of the pre-market low. And a lot of times it's like a test to the bottom and then rip. And there was only one time that it broke down through, and that was the 10th. So last week on Tuesday, I guess that was. Yeah, like it did a big dip down and eventually still went green. So it's possible that it can come all the way in a previous close, but I kind of like just the test of the pre-market low. We've seen this kind of a pattern before. If a stock has a tendency to do that, it also is my favorite technical setup. And why is it my favorite? Because it's quite simply the easiest and most obvious one to notice. Prior high for support, and that's going to set us right back up at that pre-market low. So I'm kind of going for dip buying here just because that's what it seems like it always does on PLTR. If it just goes without me, in my note I kind of put in 37 as well, but I still prefer the pre-market dip buying here just because it seems to do it every single day. You get a bit of a dip and rip in Palantir.
All right, solar stocks, big move going into the weekend, and then yesterday as well. Very, very strong. But back to earth here. For Solar Edge specifically, SEDG, huge gap down. We are back above 21 currently, however. Jeffries with the downgrade here today.
Yeah, they don't like the look here, Brendo. Underperform from hold and a price target downgrade to 17 from 27. The analyst says he sees near-term risk to the revenue and margins due to the high inventory levels. Can't move what they've already produced. Slower growth prospects also in European markets hurting this and limited margin expansion. There's also, Brendo, the uncertainty around the CEO and the succession. So we've heard that the outgoing CEO, Zvi Lando, is being replaced by the finance chief, but that's only on an interim basis. We don't know who the new guy is going to be.
Yeah, not a ton of volume behind this move so far this morning, but we're basically giving back what we gained yesterday here for Solar Edge.
Yeah, not all of it, but it hasn't been the best run for this. Look, the good news on Solar Edge is it's made, temporarily speaking, like it made a bottom and was breaking out of that low. So even with a dip back into 20, like if you were, I mean, it already happened. So this is probably, we'll see. It could be tested. It's at $21. I mean, $20 was that level of resistance before. So I think that would have been the spot to go for a dip buy. Look, it's 30% to the upside. Sorry, short float, 30% short float. And tomorrow we could be getting a 50-point basis cut, which would bode well for the entire group. And then you have the election being a potential positive for them as well. So I think there is a place to buy this and take shots at it. But it already bounced off $20 here, which would have been the obvious area to go dip buy hunting. So I'm probably staying away from Solar Edge today. As we mentioned, there's a few things like you got a firm probably breaking that 45 level. And I did want to acknowledge we got a super chat in here from Nick Dubs. I was wanted to bring this one up. Could you give your thoughts on SoFi? 90% short float. Looks like it's set up for a squeeze. Yeah, I'd be pretty happy if SoFi can make a squeeze. Look, rate cuts are probably pretty solid for them as well. So when you think about names like this that are trying to go, I've sort of said, wake me up when we're breaking out this high. This is one of the more aggressive moves that SoFi has made into $8. It does so in a better upward trend than the last few times it's gotten here. So you got a higher low going into it. This local top is about 830. That's what has to break out. That's what feels like is going to break on SoFi.
Why is SoFi doing that?
I think, look, the financial names and some of the fintech have been doing pretty well, and it's been on a rally. We know we're going to get that cut. It's been steadily increasing every day. The only thing that would scare me a little bit is you're going to get the first test of that 830 today. So it wouldn't surprise me, there it is up here, it wouldn't surprise me if initially you had some profit taking going in. Like, it's just gone, what is that, like 20% in essentially 1 week here, starting last Tuesday. So it wouldn't surprise me if you had a bit of a sell, but this is the level that's needed to break out on SoFi for quite some time. And this is the strongest trend, I think, going into it that it's had. So Nick Dubs, I'm with you. Like, I want to see this thing, I mean, I would love to see it close above 830 for the long term, but it's setting up for a pretty clean 830 break as we speak.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. That SoFi, now it's piqued my interest at those levels. All right, so we talk about this as an election topic a little bit here with solar energy, and obviously you can look at uranium. We've talked about that as well. We've talked about many different names. Neil just looked at Solar Edge's end phase. There's First Solar. But if you like the space, then just like the space, I think. And you could buy the TAN ETF. First Solar is going to be the largest holding there. But, you know, trying to break through the 50-period moving average. This is what it looks like on a daily chart. We can drop it down to a weekly, but this goes all the way back. So this is last year. So last year at this time, we were at $55. We've sort of topped out there again. We made another top back early summer, back in June at 50. But now I feel like it's just depressed a little bit. And you could get going. There's been a few people that we've had on that like the space. We've talked to Justin from Zacks there, Justin Zack from Moomoo, coming through and talking about some election topics and what could get going there, especially if the Democrats win. So we're going to look at TAN ETF right here. I like it. I like this for a long. I mean, it kind of feels like Intel yesterday. You can take the long now. I think you can get to 44. That's 10%, maybe even higher than that on good news. Who knows? And then your bottom is a $1.50 break down through $38. So I think you can sort of just play this one. I like TAN. So and another beneficiary of lower rates, exactly. Solar. So yeah, Michael liked housing yesterday for some kind of reasons. Different, obviously breaking out to the upside. But if you're going to play interest rate sensitive sectors, I think TAN is a good one.
Well, actually, he's in the Widowmaker, so that's all he cares about
he's
right now.
He's in
UNG. He's in UNG, so good luck to Michael in the Widowmaker. That did make that 15 break. There wasn't, apparently we got another super chat in here. It was, I'm just going to.
I miss it?
Bring it. No, I had missed the first one from Nick Dubs, and we tried to get to. So Mashworth was asking you. Thank you, Mashworth, for the $2 super chat. We appreciate all our viewers. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you want to be in the chat, make sure you hit the subscribe so you can send us messages. But asking for thoughts on Tesla.
Yeah. So thanks, Neil, for bringing that up. Look, Mashworth. I like it. Tesla's not a stock that I would be mashing today by any stretch because it's still just in the middle here. And it's like, I personally like to trade stocks, especially like if we were at 232, 233, then I'd be all over this, man, this 235 break long. I think the market's an update today. We had a down day yesterday. I think it can make it back. I'm looking at the market. Yesterday, we were down about 0.5%. So we're basically flat to that today, right? So down half. Yesterday, up half today. Market could be a little bit choppy. That's kind of what I put on the sticky note to follow the trend today. So if the trend's going to be higher, I do like the longs. So yeah, I really like 226. I mean, just looking back here, that was a 226 top that goes all the way back in August. You sort of had a 225 hold right there. And it's been pretty good, right? Back into here as well. Early in the month of September, we had 226 hold. There's 226 again. So you know what? If you guys wait for 226 to come through, if you do get a sell, and let's not pretend that, again, Tesla has these whack moves, man, right off the open. Like, yes, is that proper terminology? Yeah. 230 all the way down to 223. Like that was down $7 yesterday off the open. So for us to say that maybe you could get a 226 bid today, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. So for you, Mashworth, for a smooth $2. I can, we'll go take that, buy some birthday candles. 226 for me is a long, and then we'll watch out for that 235 break high. But I don't see any other break levels. I'd rather buy the dip at 226. Thanks for the super chat.
Minutes ago here, let's touch on this Vivo Power story just real quick, and then we'll get to Apple. We mentioned earlier Fastenal. It's not. FAST stands for, where is it? Here we go. Future Automotive Solutions and Technologies Incorporated, not a public company. So Vivo Power teaming up with Future Automotive Solutions and Technologies Incorporated. So heads up on that. As I mentioned, let's touch on Apple. Back downside here this morning. We're touching on it there just quickly. I mean, there's more tweets about this right now, but apparently some online retailers, specifically e-commerce stores in China, already selling the iPhone 16 at a discount.
Yeah, it's not a good look here, Brendo. Here's what's being reported. So I can show the screen if you guys want. PDD is selling the iPhone 16 Plus, 512 gig, not the Pro Max, but the 16 Plus, selling it at a 10% discount over here, about 9,000 yuan, which is about 1,200 and 1,268 American dollars. Pinduoduo and on Taobao, which is Alibaba's marketplace, they're selling the 16 Pro Max, the 256 version, for about 4% off. So, and we haven't even been like 2 weeks yet. So demand in China is still trouble.
Yeah, there was not much of a bounce attempt here yesterday, guys, for Apple. As we were saying, kind of stuck in this range so far here this morning.
Well, I mean, nothing ever sells at a discount.
This has nothing to do with demand.
U.S. stuff never sells at a discount in China. They don't do that. That's not what they do at all. So I don't know why we're even trying.
First of all, if you buy that iPhone from PDD on Temu, you're going to get like an iLoan, not an iPhone. So 10% off. Congratulations on that one.
What?
Okay, the second one.
That's why my phone doesn't work?
Exactly, right? So, and I mean, what it is, it's just called smart sales. I don't know if people like... if you want to get ahead of the line and sell a whole bunch of them, sell them for a little bit cheaper so that everyone gets it. Once you buy one iPhone, that's it. You don't buy it again.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's like, honestly, if I walked by a store and it was like iPhone is $9.99 and the other store was $10.49, I'd buy it at the $9.99 store and that guy would get my money. That has absolutely nothing to do with demand. Let's wait to see what winds up happening. I think they're just getting in front of it. I just want to see the numbers.
Yeah,
just want to see the numbers. It could be lower demand. I sold some Apple. I mean, you guys know that.
It could be true.
Yeah, I mean, I was selling some Apple up near those highs. I thought the Glow event was going to be an event, and it was. And it didn't do anything for the stock, and I didn't think we thought it would. So, I mean, I kind of just, I'm not really going to be selling any more Apple anytime soon. I did, what I was selling was stuff we bought down there at 170, 180 for swing trades. But yeah, these reports aren't going to help Apple, that's for sure. Down 0.21 today. And getting lower. I worry a little bit about these reports because, sometimes when there is smoke, there's fire. But right now, man, no one's calling the fire department on Apple. And I feel like the sale that you've been seeing here is a buying opportunity. I think the phone's going to be gangbusters. Their AirPods are going to be huge. Everything that Apple does, I feel like, will be bought, other than that Vision Pro, which apparently is not being bought. So that would be something to watch out for, would just be the actual reports of sales for the iPhone 16. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for, not reports out of Temu or anything like that.
Yeah, for me, I mean, look, the high from yesterday was a short right away at the open, and then the high was 217.25. And that's going to be very obvious when you pull up a 15-minute chart. Like, it literally triple bottomed this same area here, just underneath the 217. So it's pretty clear to me, if it's going to be a long, it needs to break out the 217 quarter. That'll show that it's going with the market and not counter trend. But until it breaks that, I think it's a fade at that 217 and a quarter here on Apple. I believe we got to go up to the desk, back to Sharif, before we head into the open. Still, that Tupperware actually grew, which means people are still trying to get out. But it's a good thing we have Jeff coming because we can talk about where they're likely headed. Let's get to the desk and talk to Sharif.
All right, guys, we're talking about head and shoulders patterns today. We kind of started talking yesterday about the reversals. We'll talk about the head and shoulders specifically today. If you don't like that kind of thing, catch that with Adair and I on How to Trade at 11.
Very much, Sharif, and said we wouldn't take it. And, Affirm did break 45, got to 45.25. It's right back down here Now just underneath, still a 10-cent spread on it, just underneath 45 even, 85 on the bid, 95 on the offer. So I think it could end up with a bit of a, if it does a fail break, you could easily get down to 44 where it closed. Like this is up $1. Palantir's still hanging out at that 37 level. We just went over Apple. Intel is still headed down here, trying to bounce off of 21.7. It got all the way back up to 22. That 22 now resistance. So that's the key price. It needs to be over that 22. That was the level on the daily of resistance. And if it can't get there, I think Intel could be under a lot of pressure. Say, oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the Chinese ADRs. Alibaba starting to sell off a bit. I had this for a breakout at 85. Looks like it doesn't want to break that price. The good thing about breakouts is you don't have to take them if they never break. As the dip now coming in to this Chinese ADR. Haven't checked the rest of them, but we'll see what happens with Alibaba. Still always a chance that it could make that break. It is Tuesday, and the bell brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences. Love them for brain health. Let's ring it in 2 and 1. Let's go, Adara.
All right, so we are probably going to get into Microsoft dipping right now. The market's going for a little bit of a dive here. That was a weird. Yeah, a little bit of a dive. Right now, we're going to buy that dip on Microsoft, but it is falling out here pretty nicely. 436. I was definitely not expecting this. We did buy that little dip there in Softy. Okay, it's coming back in. Watch out for 436 break. I'm going to try some more down here. I'm going to get out if we break through 436. We're now long on Microsoft. And by the way, Palantir also.
Palantir also.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's where it is right now, so it's fine. We'll just deal with it. But here comes Palantir making the move down. It's Microsoft right now, 50 cents in the money. But Palantir, we're long at 36.90 right now.
Palantir and Microsoft with a big dip at that open. NVIDIA just ripped to the upside like crazy. Tesla is also, is Tesla going to go?
Palantir, we knew that.
Tesla, wherefore art thou, Tesla? Making a power move up to 231. Okay, load.
231, oh my God.
Load, come on.
I like that name a little bit.
Still going. It's about to break yesterday's highs here on Tesla as Palantir is also trying to go. A bit of a gap in the chart there. 235, also a monster level on not PLTR, on Tesla. That's going to be a big one, but that was Palantir just coming back in, trying to get back up to those 90s. He needs to get past 37. If it can't get back above 37, I think it's going to be in trouble.
All right, $1.50 in the money, Microsoft. We did buy that dip there on Softy. There it is. Yes, sir. $2 right there. Nicely traded on Microsoft. We bought. Look at that dip, guys. We just talked about that one. Buying at $437.60, out at $439.50. It is your first $2 winner right there to start the day on Softy. So again, man, it's a sticky note nation. We talked about why we like that stock. It's Microsoft. Now we wait to see if it breaks that 440 level. Good trading there on Softy. We're able to get out some for profit there on Palantir, but not much as we wait for that 90 to break and get a little bit higher. We took some 80s there and some 87s, I believe, on the upside. Sorry, 80s and 85s. So we actually lost 5 cents on a piece, then got flat on the other there. As Microsoft, we got out of half. So light trading early as we wait to see what happens on 436. It's not actually going the way I thought it would there for Tesla. We can look at Intel. I don't know. I'm not on that one yet.
Intel's still looking very, very weak. Intel tagged 21.5, now starting to come back. 21. Alibaba broke 85 and is headed to the upside. And Apple is tanking now through 215. Apple's tanking to the downside here, everybody. So Baba up, Apple down. Adara.
Just be aware of Polestar here, PSNY. This one basically at high day here, up about 7% right off the open with a nice volume pop. Good look on the daily chart as well, announcing this morning that they've now are fully complying with NASDAQ listing rules. 8.3% short float to be aware of as well here for PSNY, guys.
Fully compliant. Well, I mean, they've been over $1 for a while, so I don't think that's like that much of a surprise. Again, penny stocks do this so they can get loaded. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to be a trade. I was checking DJT was definitely making some moves. I did not short the flat bottom break because it was already there. But Palantir just made the dipsy do. Wait a minute.
Yeah. It's trying to.
Oh, no. I misplaced my stop order on Palantir. I put 60 instead of 50. All right. 36.50. You can see the support right in here on Palantir. Zoom out. There's your 36.5. I just got out and back in, but Palantir has been absolutely dumping this morning, so still headed to the downside. I wanted to mention Apple, which was tanking through 215. it just held the line at the same bottom from yesterday. So there's your bottom on Palantir, well, on Apple yesterday, just underneath 215. It's once again making that same dip and rip.
All right, we've been fine on Palantir so far because we've been getting out on the moves back up. Like we just bought some 60s there and got out at 70 again. We're just going to try. We're long at 69. It has not been a great trade, as Neil just highlighted there as well. Now it's going to break through 50, so it looks like we'll be, there we go. So now we got out to 75% of that, but it's a fail as that drops down. We'll go 1 for 2 right now with Palantir as the L, unfortunately, and it's been like that for a couple of days, really. It's been tough, but it's just falling back into yesterday's close. So again, I don't want to leave a stock. Yesterday we left it only to come back to see it, do what it did there and hold the 200 period moving average. But you are way underneath all that now, right? Yesterday this was the 200. Now we're way up. So we got to watch out for a possible 36.30. I think they're coming in right now. This is probably worth a little bit of a buy. We'll buy some 33s right here and then see if we can hold a break too much lower than this, 36.20, and we're going to get out of Palantir. This is yesterday's low. We're going to buy some of these dips now and see if we can't make a little bit back. Microsoft's been in and out, never out of the money, but it's been up $2 a couple times now as it's trying to fade back in. Watch out for, I guess, a 437 break as the market's getting weaker and weaker, it seems like, but a nice bounce off of VWAP for the market. So let's see if Softy can help that one get back up to the upside. Adara?
BurgerFi International here on watch here. BFI, this one is a penny stock trading around 30 cents right now, up about 130% on the day. Last night announcing that they received interim approval here for $3.5 million in financing to support some restaurants during restructuring. They have a market cap actually of around $3.3 million. So this financing fairly significant in context, about an 8% short float as well to be aware of for BFI, guys.
All right.
Shout out there. Look, NVIDIA is also making some moves to the downside in here. Oh, no.
Mullen's circuit breaker.
Yeah, Mullen just went into a halt. Wow. Okay, so look, NVIDIA is not anywhere near 515 or 115, which I think is a key level, but Mullen just went into a halt up here after that reverse split. So the top is 12.69. The tap is $11. Okay. So Mullen's indicating an open at 11.50.
Oh, it's a
now.
100. It's one for 100 stock split.
Yeah, but it just halted up and is indicating down at 11.30. It's going to open. That's going to open significantly.
You're trying to tell me Mullen makes no sense? What's wrong with you?
Okay, so that could be nasty. If you're in that long halt, it's indicating opening 10% down from where it is. That could get very, very nasty. Baba's coming back into 85, so it looks like it'll be a dip back into the breakout price on Alibaba as that's trying to go. PLTR is trying to make that dip. Intel's still looking relatively weak as it's now down. It's almost at 21, everybody. So 21 is where that broke out, is where we closed, 2090. I think that's going to be the spot to look for any kind of a dip. Meta looking very strong, however, over there. That looks like it's a strong one on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I bought some more Microsoft here. I'm waiting at 438 to get a little bit more, but I just punched into 40s because it wasn't coming into that level. So we'll go long here. So we have a decent, I mean, it's not a huge position, but it's still early days. And we said on the kid, there we go, we just got 438s. We said we wanted to try to play a direction here today. And yeah, so far the trend's been down. This is a name that I liked. So let's see if that trend continues. We do have an out that we can get out. This break right there, which makes it very, very reasonable to hold this stock, $2 or $1.30 against us there. I will take a little bit more at this bottom, but if we do, I mean, hopefully it's the bottom. If we do break below 437, then we have that bottom wick, which also breaks the 200 period. So for me, this is kind of setting up right now to be a decent opportunity. So let's just wait to see here. We'll try to chase the long one more time. Palantir broke. I think we sort of went over that one already. Tried to chase it. We actually did okay getting out, but at the end of the day, when you take out the bottom, it's impossible to win. So we are out now of Palantir and did take a hit on this stock today, but not as bad as it could have been. Remember what we said earlier? Part of the problem is sometimes you get stuck in a trade and you're thinking like, oh, this has to be a long, and you take it early. So thankfully, we took the 200 period and then got out of that one for like maybe 10 cents hit. averaged it back into 50, and then took some winners back up before only dropping out again. We're long at 438 flat here. I'm going to put an offer at 438.80 or so for Microsoft. Maybe we get that. If this can go, then the day will be fine. But let's go over to Adara and find out something. There goes Palantir.
Another small cap penny stock name on watch here, Fuel Cell Energy, FCEL. This company trading right now basically at high of days, up almost 8% right now. No news that I can see, but roughly a 23% short float to be aware of for FCEL, guys.
Move. SoFi's on the move as well. So SoFi about to take out, maybe about to take out pre-market highs, but it's not 820 that I'm concerned with. It's 830. So 830 is a level on the daily. I already have an order just in case it makes the break. I'm not bidding 834. That's literally impossible. But if it breaks out the high 30s, then I want that 34 to the upside. PLTR now finally making a little bit of a bounce. And it feels like it's going to be one of those.
Time to get out.
Maybe be patient. It's trying to make a bottom at that afternoon support at 36.25. Maybe look for a little more confirmation down here. Because the way that this is starting to sell off here, you might have to wait for the 36 even. There was an even dollar bounce play 2 days ago. Yesterday, you didn't really get it.
Come on,
but
softy.
this was underneath 36 by about 20 pennies and then made the rally. So I want to give this one a little bit of time. Bao saying Neo is on the move. I want to go over to Apple because that was part of my plan to short this name underneath 217. If it can't get to the 217.25, then I'm going to have to look for this opening range. Last time yesterday, it had a wick just like this, 216.10. Yesterday was at 217.25 and then held that line for the whole day. So still looking to short pops on Apple while it's weak relative to the market. Neo on the move for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to look at that as well. But just quickly here. Oh, Crow, I just canceled my offer on Microsoft. Okay, here goes Microsoft right now. We're 70 cents in the money. We talked about getting more shares on this bad boy. Our whole day right now is turning itself right around on this trade. One trade alone right now, softy. So we're long at 438.15s, or sorry, 18s. Position board is working. Okay, so here we go. 439.25 we're waiting at right now. You have to sit around with positions pending on this stock, or else you do wind up paying the spread, which actually right now isn't that bad. It's about 15 to 20 cents there, and even when it slows down, it's okay. Maybe we should have taken that offer there when it was up or higher than 439, sorry. But, well, you know, one little flush higher here, and we'll look to get out. Maybe I'll change my order and put it somewhere in just above 439. Sit there ahead of 439.20. So hopefully we get that print and take $1 on a piece there. It's just the reason why I'm a little hesitant now. And like, oopsies, I want to look at Neo too, by the way, was that we're right at the 50 period now and VWAP. So a little bit of a break would be real nice. The highest we got was 16s right there. So if you're guessing that we're at 16s, then you are right. That's now $1 right there on that one. Palantir trying to battle back, man. Maybe this is the bottom.
Neo just broke out on the daily chart in a big way. This wants $6. We're in BABA, but Neo looks just as good. I mean, it looks somewhat similar to SoFi, only this needs to maybe break the 610 level for it to be like the SoFi at 830. But 570 is about to get taken out, and that's above on the daily chart. I think this should be any kind of a dip on the next available move. Like either it breaks 570 here or you dip into VWAP. So I want to play that trend as we jump on over to it. Alibaba's still holding, although Apple does not hold on to the pre-market. It's not the pre-market high. That's actually incorrect. It was the opening range top, and it just wicked that top. So unlike yesterday, is my chart working for yesterday? Apologies, guys. My 3-minute chart is, yesterday was at 217.25. Yeah, it's struggling a bit. It was 217.25. It had the same level for resistance as the opening wick. This time it's starting to break it out. At least I like these Chinese ADRs. They're both going in tandem and looking strong. What's lagging right now is actually NVIDIA. Yeah, that chart too. NVIDIA heading right back in and trying to retest 115, which is where it turned yesterday's trade. So this is looking definitely weak. And Intel, which we thought would be good volume, still waiting for it to get down into 21 as this continues to go lower and lower. They're selling off Intel heavily.
Be aware of Icon Enterprises here, up about 10%. This is not a small cap. We have a market cap here of about $6 billion. A district court judge dismissing a class action lawsuit against the company and some of its directors without prejudice. So lawsuit dismissal here, sending IEP sharply to the upside, guys.
Here goes Microsoft right now, $3 on Softy now. In the money goes Softy, $3. We talked about buying more of this at the bottom. We did not take that break. We were already long. We could have added to it, and obviously we should have. There it is. It is your sticky note trade of the day. Again, right here, it's Microsoft on a 440 break. It looks like it just went to 441 and change, 441.17. We're long at 438. So, yay on that one as we go higher and higher and higher. Thank you, Rivian Millionaire, and everybody else there. It's $3. I mean, that's a good trade. So, I hope you guys are on that. We talked about why we liked Microsoft. I know, Neil, the other trade that we were looking at, and I was thinking about this too, Affirm breaks that 45, but just gets that high in the pre-market and then drops down. So this could be another name to look at for a break long right there. Yeah, Dan McIsaac, it is free real estate right now. I really like that trade on Microsoft, and I feel like we just got to hold it and see how far we can go. Google, again, looks, we were kind of, hating on this name for obvious reasons back down there at 150. Remember when it broke that? Well, now we're debating punching long at 160. So here goes Google. Here goes Microsoft. Bang! That's exactly what we're talking about. It's a chicken dinner winner. It's over $3 now in the money as that continues to go higher and higher, man. We getting lifted today, baby. It's great, and we'll see if it can go. Palantir maybe a buy through 36.50, but right now, man, we sort of saddle up with Softy.
Yeah, they just wicked another bottom on Palantir. This looks a little bit better. You got a bottoming tail candle 1, now you have a bottoming tail candle number 2. The initial move was obviously nasty to the downside right away at the open, but it's now starting to make a little bit of a bid. I don't know about Intel just yet, but at least Palantir is showing some signs. I'm going to jump into it, give it to the local low. The other one that we're going to pay attention to is going to be NIO, still making that power move to the upside. Just want to make sure I get my stop order in there on Palantir. NIO churning, we're in BABA, but NIO has been, at least for now, NIO is looking stronger, up that 4 points. It's pulling back into VWAP. I'm going to look for this 560 bounce play on NIO. If these want to continue to go, we want to be on that party. As I said, Alibaba, we're in, trying to pick it back up at VWAP. There is an 86 break available on Alibaba. So this is 85.70 or 85.80, I think. As this local high on the daily chart. If it breaks that out, I actually see 86 as an add on BABA. So I want to be out in front of that high on the daily, and if it breaks 86, that's a separate trade going into the highs here, along with some of the others. And Li Auto's making power moves as well. I don't want to ignore them. They're up 9%. But I never really trade Li Auto, so not going to trade it today either.
All right. We're now $4 almost in the money here on Softy as it just keeps on going. What's up, Coffee Trader? Yeah, I've left NVIDIA alone. But today, we'll pick our poison right now with Microsoft. And again, the trade that we really like to begin with. We talked about 440 break. There it is. We just should have added to the trade. And then we'd really be on cloud 9 there for sure. I like Palantir breaking through 36.50. We'll put on some shares if that does happen. And the iPhoney report that we had earlier right there, you're seeing what's happening right now. Apple just straight up to the upside right now as that just keeps on going. We'll see if it can hold out though. 217 coming into play one more time for Apple would not be a surprise. And then I see some people in the chat saying, oh boy, it's Meta time. Let's have a quick look at that one as Meta does continue its upside move. Oh yeah, Meta right now at, yo Randy, what up dog? Meta right now. Hey Randy, we got $3 on Microsoft. Let's go right now. Okay, so here we go. It's Meta and look at this. Buy that name down there. I remember when me and the guy over here, Sharif, we were talking all about this name at $100 and talking about why is this PE where it is. But again, look what Meta's doing now. 550 at all-time highs right now for Meta, trying to go one more time. It was just 440 a month ago. Right now, 550 and breaking trying to break 550, trying to break higher. There goes Alibaba. This is our sticky note trade. Right now, we wanted this trade breaking through 85.70. So Merry Christmas. We have it. It's Alibaba, but it's now $4, approaching $4 now on Microsoft as we clear up some room to get to the upside on Sir Softy. Let's see what Baba has in store now.
Yeah, Baba's into that resistance on the daily. So if it doesn't get to 86 on this move, I'm trailing out and buying it back in underneath VWAP. We're into NEO, as that's actually testing VWAP as we speak, and still heading. I mean, NVIDIA is still heading to the downside. It's not to intentionally ignore it, but seeing a lot of stocks that are going up right now, and the market is actually retesting a little bit lower. So this is what's happening on the NASDAQ for everybody in here. You're actually testing lower and lower, and I think a lot of it has to do with NVIDIA. All right, that's me running to the exits. I still think there's a separate trade on Alibaba through 88, or we're dipping back into VWAP, but NVIDIA just keeps on falling in here. So we're going to take the money on NEO, or on Alibaba, look for a dip. Yeah, this NVIDIA chart, I'll go to the 15 minute.
Here's been the disaster of the day.
It's been an absolute disaster. So NVIDIA, 115, that's where it bottomed yesterday as it continues to head to the downside. I think that's the spot to try to get into it if you're going to try to catch a falling knife. It is heading very heavily into the downside. It's Palantir that just cannot seem to hold a bid. It just broke 36. So I tried it back to 330, gave it to 20, which was not even the low of the day. I gave it to the local bottom, didn't even give it to the low. It's still falling underneath 36. I'm going to guess Dell's probably falling along with it. Yeah, there you go. So the two names being added to the S&P are both falling to the downside as we speak, giving up a lot of those gains. They've been up like 7 days in a row. I guess today is the day they are red.
Yeah, it's. I'm going to still try it if it breaks through VWAP on Palantir, but it has to go up through the upside right there. Josh Raposo says, let's look at stocks. We will. Right there. You know what stocks I've got on today, actually? I don't know if you guys can see these. Is Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang socks. Wu-Tang socks.
Cash rules everything around me.
It's trying to.
The money.
It's trying to.
Dollar,
unfortunately, cash empties my pocket every time my kids are around me.
It's already cold.
Dollar, lack of dollar bills, y'all. Okay, so, yeah. Oh, I went to see my daughter today. She was up at 5:30 on the ice at 6:15. Went to see her before I came into work and did a little heart thing. You know, like what they all do, though, that little Taylor Swift hearting thing there. And she was on the ice. Blew kisses to me, and the rest, of course, as they say, is history. And I just come to work just to be with everybody, and because I actually really love work. Okay, so 439. Here comes Microsoft. Here comes the market, and it. Pardon?
Huh?
I'll get that in a second. All right, just a little dip down into 439 again for Microsoft. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening. My trade on Palantir, and I think we haven't even gone back. I don't think either one of us has been in Intel. Maybe we should have a look there. I wanted to wait to see about a VWAP break higher on Palantir. So if that does come through, that does come through. Andre, you just say it again, man. It was a little muffled. I didn't hear what you had said there. Whenever you're ready, we can do whatever you want. But for now, let's just keep on trading. 36.40 is the break spot for me to get back long into Palantir.
I think we are going over to Adara at the desk.
Part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you were too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Benzinga Pro can transform your trading. Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much there, Adara. That's where you'll pick up news live. I mean, after in the aftermarket, or in the afternoon show, I should say, and in the aftermarket, you would have gotten the Intel news. In the afternoon show, you would have found out that Tupperware is going bankrupt. Double check in a minute to see if they're actually going to open. I don't think they are. I think we're going to OTC, or just never again.
We are going to have Jeff Mendel on, and we'll find out.
Jeff is going to be coming on in a couple of hours here. Actually, just in an hour.
Less than 1 hour.
Less than 1 hour. Firm's trying to retest 45. So it did not hold the break, but that was before the open. It's going to make an attempt at this 45 a second time. You know what? It could be a VWAP retest into it. What I love about this is a V-shaped recovery when the market's going down and this stock is now flying up. I like that for squeeze-type names. because it means people have been maybe trapped in a little bit of a short underneath 45, and if it retakes it, it could absolutely fly. I do want to get back into Alibaba, though. You know, those bids from earlier are not going to be any good. VWAP could hold here. The other thing that could hold is, you know, trying to look at this 840 instead of just VWAP being a line. I look at this 840 where you had resistance on that last little breakout to be a nice little dip buy spot for Alibaba. NVIDIA is still heading to the downside. So NVIDIA is starting to come in a little bit more heavily. Sorry about that 3-minute chart. I'll probably restart this one. Oh, it's starting to fill in there. To give it some time. The 15 level, at least showing yesterday where it bid, it was just underneath 115. I feel like that's the safe spot there for NVIDIA. And Palantir, at least we're patient with it and got away. It's still trying to make a bottom. Underneath 36 now. It's just absolutely cratering as they sell it off the open. Intel hasn't hit 21 yet. But like if you weren't going to be above 22, 21 was the only support area that was of interest to me. So we just have to be patiently waiting in for that one. And then SoFi has not broken the top either. So the markets, look, it's not going to break out if the market's going down like this and it's selling off. The good news for SoFi is it's holding a higher low while the market is pulling back in. So there's a chance I might adjust this to get in. If it holds relative strength, then we start to bounce. I might adjust this to just take the local breakout and maybe add through 830. So the only thing I'm in right now is NIO because we jumped out of Alibaba. I think I should have gotten 62s instead of 64s, but that's hindsight. 62s was holding, so I got 64 on the bounce, and then 60 held. My stop's underneath the 60 level, so I might be adding to this at 62, get a little bit of a better price on NIO. But got to be patient. It's a falling knife on Intel, and it's a falling knife on Palantir. Both of those heading to the downside still. Even Apple's coming down now.
Yeah, the whole market is breaking. I think, we said we'd try to play the trend, and the trend has been down, and we're just into two longs. So, yeah, let's just see. Maybe there's a bouncing spot coming through here. Palantir's VWAP is still 36.50. I just want to go over Microsoft because we just got into it. We averaged in to this trade, so we did have a much bigger winner on. But, you know, it's not about painting the chart. It's about trying to make the best trade. So 440 there. We'll just buy a dip here at 439. I'm going to wait at 441 and 440.80 right here to see if we can get a little bit of a move up now on Microsoft. I'm going to be dropping this if we come too close to 438. I mean, I was thinking like 437.50, not waiting for 436.50 again. If it breaks back down below the 200 period is something that I've looked at and studied and don't really want to be involved too much into this, especially when it is the pre-market as well, the pre-market low there. So we'll wait for that one to come through. Okay, so here it goes. So a nice little reload there at 439.50. So that's 50 cents now in the money. There's a 50-cent winner for you on Microsoft. Notice the difference, right? Like I'm in Alibaba as well. You're not going to get 50 cents on NIO. You got to trade more shares, maybe take less of a profit. So you have to sort of understand what you're trading and what you're comfortable with and the scalp levels on a lot of these different names, right? And then same thing true for Alibaba. I'm waiting to get longer at VWAP, which is 30s. We don't have a huge position here. When something goes like this and breaks, I mean, we wrote down 85.70. So we're in the trade that we want. There's no doubt about that. But again, when the market's going the other way and you go right back up to highs, you got to be a little cautious. So we took a little bit less than we wanted there and waiting now for VWAP. I think this is a good spot to get a little bit more here, and we might do that. I just thought we were coming in a little bit there. And then Microsoft goes from 50 cents in the money to 50 cents out of the money on that reload. So we're still waiting for some 38s to come in, and we'll get a little bit more softy. But hey, man, the longs are not working out right now. Palantir's still 36 and change. And then, okay, here comes Microsoft. Hopefully,
NVIDIA is starting to come back up.
Okay, that's good. And then that makes sense because I want to look at Intel here. A VWAP trade 2170 for Intel, or you bottom pick it, which is not that bad. We've really been absorbing this 2130 area. So a couple downsides. What is it? It's almost 10. So yeah, I'm not going to go long Intel here. I'd rather wait for confirmation break of 2170. But for right now, I can't. That doesn't look horrible.
Affirm is back down.
Affirm is
back under VWAP, so that's no longer. What's hilarious is like that 45 was like a classic top rejection, and then a pullback on Affirm. So I don't think that one's going to give us any long through that 45 anytime soon. At least, I mean, SoFi still has a chance. So the good thing, And see, what I like about SoFi is it's not breaking down. What's actually happening is it's holding. It tried to break pre-market lows, held yesterday's high. So even if it doesn't break 830, if it can hold 810 on a double bottom, then you can form a long trend back in instead. NVIDIA is finally heading back to the upside as it's trying to get into VWAP. Again, I have to look at my 15-minute chart here, which is fine because I like them even better. But until NVIDIA gets back and shows bids above 118, that was yesterday's high. That was support in the afternoon last week, and then support in the afternoon Thursday and Friday. So I think this is going to be the key level to get over on NVIDIA. Otherwise, you're still trend down. Patience in Intel, I mean, you could just been short at every single level, but at this point, it's at 21.25. So the 21 test feels like it's going to be incoming here for INTC. Baba trying to test VWAP as well. And Tesla, Tesla and Meta are strong. So I feel like, you can see where the actual strength is in the market, and Meta is one of them. And Tesla, while not breaking 235, is about to retest the local top at 233. So 235 was that level. We said, look, the day it comes there again after that double top, I'm going to take the break. It was trading in the mid 220s at one point, but this is setting up like it wants that break. Tesla going to have to join it. If you're looking for longs, you got to find the stocks that are relatively strong. And Tesla is definitely doing it here. If it can hold VWAP, trend into 35, but I'm still favoring that 35 break on Tesla. But I like the confirmation that it did the dip, now holding, want another higher low, maybe 231.5 for VWAP, but we should be long in TSLA. You can want to trade Palantir and Intel, but neither one of them are setting up very well for longs at this point. You just have to wait for them. Dara, what's up?
Yep.
To Adara? Oh, no? Yes? Maybe?
We're waiting on some economic numbers in a few seconds here. NAHB Housing Market Index business inventories on a month-over-month basis here. So NAHB Housing Market Index coming in at 41, slightly above the consensus and forecast here of 40 and the previous print of 39. We also got here business inventories on a month-over-month basis, also higher here than expected, 0.4%. Versus, 0.4% here versus consensus here of 0.3%, forecast of 0.2%. Retail inventories ex autos on a month-over-month basis for July, in line with expectations at 0.5%. So higher than expected business inventories in NAHB Housing Market Index, in line retail inventories ex autos. We also had some retail sales data and capacity production data earlier this morning at 8:30 and 9:15. A lot of these previous numbers are actually getting revised. So interesting look there. Right now we have both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ up slightly on the day. NASDAQ slightly higher and stronger here than the S&P 500. It's worth noting too, lots of these markets here and stocks going to be on watch ahead of the FOMC meeting coming at 2 p.m. tomorrow with that rate decision. Then we'll get comments from Fed Chair Powell at 2:30 tomorrow. Fed's Logan set to take the podium right now, so we'll wait up for comments from Fed's Logan, who started speaking at 10 a.m. Meta pretty strong here, up more than 1%. Now seeing an expansion here with regards to its collaboration on its smart eyewear. So interesting look here for META. We also have INTC giving up the vast majority of its early moves here yesterday and this morning, announcing the strategic collaboration with AWS with regards to U.S.-based chip manufacturing, and then also receiving $3 billion in military chip funding to that effect from the CHIPS Act. So interesting look for INTC. Let's see what this market does, guys.
All right, we punch into some more Microsoft. But shout out to Josh with that super chat. We did not get to socks, so let's just quickly look at that. I was just thinking about this name and how well it's actually holding up. I surprised. I thought that looking at where Intel would be, looking at some NVIDIA today, and we're gonna, have to figure out, what exactly is going on with a lot of these names. I look at SMH. But again, the same kind of thing here with SOX. So if you sort of pull this back, an indicator that I like to use there is the 50-period moving average. And as you can see here, on a 20-minute chart, we're right at it right now. So I would play the long. I mean, again, the market's been beat up, but the market's coming back up into VWAP right now. So I would think that you could play along if you like this space. You're at a great little level here of $20.50. Like, we've held it. It was the top there. Then we gapped higher. I think there's room to run on this. And if you like the chip space, this is not a horrible play. Because you've had NVIDIA get beat up a little bit here this morning, that's helped it go to the downside. Here we go, man. Microsoft on the reload, nicely taken back up to the upside. But I like that SOX trade. And if you're going to look here on NVIDIA and some of the other names that have come through today, come on, NVIDIA. You've been holding yesterday's. So as long as we don't break below like 116.50 here, if you're going to watch both of them, then I think, yeah, take a basket of them all. For me, stocks L as a little maybe highly levered option. This could be something as well, and just $32. So those of you that are looking at SOXX, SOXL, very, very similar, and you can see both names pull right back into yesterday's close before now catching a bid. Wow, it looks like we were able to. There it is. Look at that. Tesla shares spiking right now, but there it is. There's a little bit of a reload there. 438.30s. We were waiting for more at 438.25. Believe it or not, we did not get it. So we just punched long there once we realized we don't get it. And then we go right back up and take $1 right there in 2 minutes on that trade back up to VWAP. So there goes Tesla up 3.25%. Alibaba, we're trying to average into it down to the 50 period MA.
Yeah, Alibaba's still holding higher low, so that's trending up. So Neil's high of the day is 70s. Gonna get some scalp trades out in front of that 70. If it breaks out the top, I'm holding through the top break. I want to play that to $6, but Tesla's now flying toward 235. I know it looks like there's nothing out there, but 235, this is it on the daily. It's already tested this multiple times. You have a bit of a wall at that 235 zone in here. If it busts that, I think it can absolutely fly. It's 3% now, but we've seen Tesla do 5-6% days. And the way the market did that dip and rip, certainly looking very bullish as it's about to test. It's at the $0.50 now. We're going to get there pretty close. And then here comes a firm screaming back into that 45 level. So a firm is going to go, this will be hilarious because they'll both happen at the same time because that's Murphy's Law. So a firm retaking potentially that 45, it's not there yet. I know it broke, but that break was in the pre-market. It is not broken above at the open. It essentially dumped through that price at the open. So big moves happening in Tesla and a firm. One of these two is going to break that high. I think the way this market is starting to go to the upside. I know we're looking at some Intel as well. We'll wait for those breaks. Intel did not get to 21. It needs to maybe get above VWAP to join. Thankfully, no Intel long, but PLTR, the other name that we're looking for a dip by, still think there's a chance for it. At some point, it's going to have to follow the market, I do think, and it just got to VWAP itself. So our chance might have been come and gone with that 36. Now we'll look for a VWAP hold. But Tesla is likely to break, and that 235 is huge.
Yeah, we'll try it there. We talked about what we wanted to do here on Palantir. We wanted to take that VWAP break. I thought I had it at 36, but it looks like it is at 40. So we'll go long here right now. But either way, a drop back into the 50 period, which is like 36.25 or so break, we'll get out. So we're just long Palantir right here, right now at 37s. You can see it's having a problem trying to break that. This could be a stop at VWAP. I must have just mispriced it. But either way, it was, 3 cents. Shouldn't matter, but apparently it will. So here comes in again for PLTR. Nice little dip back in. We'll see what winds up happening now for that name. We did have a big runner again. Microsoft just went right back to VWAP and stopped again. I'm actually surprised that it's not a lot more aggressive than this. So I'm feeling more and more confident now. We'll take another long there, and if we break below 437.50, then let's just get out of this one. And the reason why I'm saying this is I feel more confident about getting out, and not like layering into this. Because it's like that's a big move in the futures. We just what just came out, Palantir. So Palantir goes the other way right there on that break. So it looks like it resisted VWAP instead of trying to break it. Market pulling back in. I still think Palantir has a chance. I actually do want to get back into this name. So we'll punch a little bit more in. 36, basically a break right here. I think would put an end to at 36.10. So let's not go too crazy here on Palantir. It's Alibaba that's back down into $85 now. So this has been a name. See, the longs, I guess we're just in the wrong names. The market's going up here, and the longs really aren't doing anything. So here comes Palantir again, back near those bottoms.
Yeah, there's a dip in Tesla right back into prior high. So it does not break. Yeah, it doesn't break that 235. Looks like it's going to make a dip into prior highs. I went for the dip. It just bounced off 233 the first time. Let's see if it'll do it a second time through. I got it through the 50 level. I actually got 67s. A little bit of slippage in there. Going to get the stop underneath that 233 level. This could pull back into VWAP. So if it plays into 35, I want to pull back into the prior high, into the 35 for potential break. If we lose 33, then wait for VWAP, which is another $1.30 lower. So I still think there's a couple of levels to go here, but I would love to see this play back into 35, and then we can add on a 35 break. I was looking at getting into Palantir too, but with the market pulling back, let's play some patience. At least this is trying to make higher lows. Alibaba's holding on to 85. I did find a short that I liked. And then as soon as I found a short that I liked, which was actually in my note, it broke VWAP, and that's going to be ARM. It was down when Apple was down yesterday. And then yesterday, morning resistance right off the bat was like 142, right at the open. Tried to break 142. This failed to break at 142 at the open and then putting in lower highs. So I kind of like ARM as long as this market doesn't just start taking the top off, in which case I'm not going to like much of anything short. But at the 142, I do like that level on ARM. We're just in BABA, still in NEO, obviously. And then the new one is Tesla playing back into 233. I'd like to see this make a 235 break. But we're still taking the breakout at 235.
Oh boy, what a good trade there we had on Microsoft. Microsoft just ripped up to 440 and we got out of that trade. And again, just reloaded there at 438, so another $2. But it's PLTR here. That's right back down to 36. We will take an out here at 36.07. I don't know like where this is going to continue to keep going to the downside. Unfortunately, it looks like we'll just have to take a bath on Palantir here today as we just keep on trying this long. Again, some outs there, but nothing to write home about. It looks like you either wait for this 36.90 to break or you don't. And right now it looks like it wants to break. So no more averaging into this one, 35.90 on a break level there for Palantir. So if that does break, then I guess that would be the end of the trade. So let's be a little more patient with it. We do have a little bit of money in our pocket now from just the Microsoft trade alone. And then Alibaba tried to get going a little bit there, got to the 50 period, which was 25s, 26s. We're long at 33s for Alibaba. So I actually put an offer at 29 right there just to try to get a little bit out, but it did not pop into that area. It came pretty close. That's VWAP right there. So I thought we could maybe get a little piece out after trying to reward ourselves for buying the 10s, but now the 10s are coming right back in and not looking great again on that one. So it looks like only Microsoft wants to work. I mean, good look there on Tesla.
Intel 235.
Remember that Tesla when I was like, are we going to get to 235 today?
I think.
And we did get to 235. Wow, what a level up there on Tesla. I mean, thanks for that super chat earlier. I think it was $2 for the name. Oh,
Mashworth.
Yeah. So there it is right there, man. We called that. We liked the 226 long. How long did it get? Did not. So it just kept going up right off the jump. And then there's the 50 period MA as well. So good look there by Mashworth bringing up Tesla. And I'm glad that we sort of supported the long case there, as it looks like it's still in control long. So 70 cents in the money, Microsoft, 25 cents out on Alibaba, and it doesn't even matter how much we're out on Palantir. We're going to try to hold this one at least back to 20s, try to make 10 cents and start to make a little bit back of what we lost. But right now, I don't have any offers out whatsoever for PLTR.
Yeah, so thank you in the chat there. Captain Physics is saying as Oracle going, guys, Oracle's going, and Rye in the chat saying, look at Google. Google's going to break 160 right now. You got to pick and choose. I mean, there's a lot of stocks, and we said, like, what's actually going and looking strong, making higher highs and all that stuff. Well, Alphabet's about to break 160. Tesla, it's in the pocket. That 235 level is a key one, so we know we like it. So playing into that makes some sense to me. You just got to pick the names that you're interested in. It is what it is. Sometimes you pick the right thing to trade. Sometimes you pick the wrong. I feel like, for me, Palantir was obviously wrong. Affirm just retook 45. But when I say retook 45, it broke it. But, that's not a break. Check that. I'm just going to punch out. This didn't actually break 45 there. So I was looking for a break of 45. That didn't break. But I got triggered into it anyway, so I'm just going to punch out there at 94. But I want to see it hold a bit over 45 maybe. Let's be a little bit more discretionary with the firm there. Thought it was breaking out 45, but not yet. It's very, very close, though. Let's go to Adara.
Airbnb really strong this morning, getting a bit of an increase in volume here on this 3-minute chart, up almost 5%. Actually getting a price target decrease here from Bernstein, lowering the price target from 174 to 155. Though they did maintain an outperform, and the note itself is pretty bullish about Airbnb structural opportunities. Lots of social media attention as well for Airbnb this morning, guys.
Airbnb, okay. We'll have a quick look at that one. Microsoft is struggling at 440. So if you guys are $2 in the money off of that, then there might be a trade there. to think about it. We already got out of a piece. We're still holding half of what we had at the bottom. So let's wait to see if it can go up. I'm at 441.50. I'm trying to swing for the fences, baby. I'm just going to put it at, 441 is actually fine by this guy. So let's just go there, 441. Well, here it comes. We'll see if we can get some out. Good trade there for Softy. Hopefully she'll keep running up. All right, so Palantir, we just got some out at 13s. Come on, man. We're long at 10s. Like, really? That's the best we could get. We saw it come up there before, so I put an offer. Was it maybe 15s? Decent spot there. There goes Alibaba actually breaking lower now. So we did get something out at 20, but we have to slap the fail on Alibaba as shares and out. So, a little bit of risk management there as we get out, breaking through $85 for what was a 30-cent hit. So 30 cents there on Alibaba, flush down the toilet, and there it goes lower and lower and lower. So we're in Tesla, Nia, Softy, and Palantir.
Yeah, Alibaba just came out. Tesla just came out, losing the 233. So slap the fails. The market fails. Whoops, that's the wrong one.
Whoops.
I tried the no-look Stream Deck press,
run there.
and just kind of like an easy pass. Sometimes you should just look at it instead of throw a no-look. Shout out to every time Matt Stafford does it, or Magic would do it at times too.
The no-look, I thought.
Our buddy got benched actually in high school. You know who I'm talking about for throwing a no-look pass.
I thought maybe it would have been for his bad free throw form.
No, he has bad free throw form, but it was ridiculous too because I wasn't a point guard, and then I had to play point guard against the best team in our region, and the results of that, when I have no handles, were entirely predictable. Look, Bitcoin's starting to go, but back to the upside, it might take 60,000. We'll look at Mara in a second, but if I just got wicked out of Tesla, and I think Tesla's strong, I got to find a way back into it. I thought we were going to get out to work back in at VWAP. Instead, it goes right into that prior high, and then continuing to go back into the upside.
Oh my gosh!
As Sharif just brought
eclairs. Eclairs. I don't know. I tried to get you pistachio eclairs, Katina, man, but they weren't there, so we got you eclairs. One is Earl Grey,
thank you.
Matcha, and strawberry.
I'll try the matcha.
Share it with the Neil.
Yes, share it with the Sharif as well.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Sharif asked me earlier, he's like, what kind of dessert do we like? And I said, anything pistachio based. But thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Did not have to go out and do that. Thank you so much. Wow, okay. These are serious. So there we go. Okay. Okay. I mean, that is pistachio. That is perfect. The middle one right there. We will have some of this in just a minute, but I think right now, I just have way too many shares of Palantir. Okay.
Wow.
Brendan, you want to just grab this from me, Brendo?
We don't want to elbow that. I don't want that. I don't want that falling or anything.
That's like would be great. Thanks, Brendo, for that. Thank you, Sharif Ayal, for that one. That means that's a lot. Thank you so much for that. We will be wolfing that down. Believe that right there. So, okay, nice move back up there. Thank you, Sharif, and everybody for the well wishes. Neil as well. Right when we got in here, everyone was happy birthday. So that's very kind. Okay, so now Palantir's coming back up to the upside. We did get washed there on Baba. Boo on that one. But it does go down into the 200 period. Oh, man, we like the 200 period. But guess what? We also like VWAP and the 50. And when we lose it, we lose it. So she gone on that one right now. And you know what else is getting lost in the mess right now? We had a great move up there for Microsoft, but it is pulling right back into a period that we like, the 200. So let's see if we can buy a little bit back there now on Microsoft as we dip, duck, dive, and dodge this move down. Okay, Palantir, good outs, it looks like anyways, as we try to lick a little bit of the wounds off of this, but 36.10, 36.11 coming out there for Palantir. What a surprise. Look who's coming over here. Hurry up, Andre. Hurry up, Andre. Somebody. The two-shot. Hi, Ramin. How are you? Not turning around. I get it. Okay.
She's got to keep secrets.
Yeah. She's probably taking the pistachio one to crush my... There we go.
What were you doing? Some shady's going on over there. That's all I'm going to...
It's all good. I think it's all good.
I know shady when I see shady. Now we're just hitting all the buttons in there. Obviously...
Pistachio one better be there, is all I'm saying.
The longs, when the market is this range bound, it's sometimes it can be frustrating because when we got to that top, I was like, I think I like one short still. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of like ARM for a short. Even Neo just came out there, and we get that in a second. Look at ARM. Now ARM's me back at the lows. I'm not going to chase this move. I'm slapping fails on these longs. There goes VWAP on NIO. It got halfway to the high of the day. It was looking for a hold to the break of the high, and now you've lost a bid. So the market's still heading into this downside, but a wild, wild morning. Affirm's still in the pocket, so it didn't really break 45 in there. You can sort of see like that top is 45, and there was no real breakout. They just jumped in and out. I actually got 45.5 somehow, and then out at 96. So this is still in the pocket to bring us some higher lows to the upside. But you know what? Those yummy eclairs and this all brought to you by our good friends at Trade the Pool, because becoming a funded trader and trading with a firm's money instead of your own is a good thing. At Trade the Pool, you first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing risk. Once you pass, you get access to up to $260,000 in buying power. You keep up to 80% of the profits while the firm covers the risk. It's a perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Ready to become a funded trader? Join Trade the Pool. Scan that QR code, or you can click the link in the description of this stream. Shout out to Trade the Pool there, and obviously big shout out to all of our viewers. And our guest this morning, Michael Katz, is doing a fantastic job as always. We love talking to traders, but good job on Michael Katz. I know he's looking at that VIX. He even said he was looking for some dips.
Right.
Hope he got some shorts off of those highs, because they would have been bangers. I've been looking long, and they've been failing. But VWAP is still in play in Tesla. Whoops. So we got out of it. Initial dip, we were able to get some. I didn't mention I did grab 50 cents worth of profit, but by the time I got that fill, we were already getting back in on the bid and coming back out. So we are shooting 1 for 2 on Tesla, but the trend is upside. You've already got one higher low after the breakout. Now we're looking for another. If it can't do that, I just feel like maybe we should be looking for some other stocks to dip by. It's still setting up for a long into that 235, so I want to give it some time. Affirm still trying to break 45, nothing there. SoFi still, SoFi is actually looking pretty good, and I still have my stop to go long through 830. But it just feels like it's, with the market not doing much and this breaking out, why am I waiting to join this? I said I should just take a local break, and it's still available for me. I'm going to play this going into that 830 level. This looks stronger than the rest. Adara, what's going on in small cap world?
Probably more than this world.
Too loud.
More strength here for the IWM, that is for sure. We have the Russell 2000 gunning for new high of days, at new high of days right now. Sustained volume this morning above that $220 level, and currently at more than 1%. So good look for the IWM. Some small caps to watch today include Talkspace, TALK. This one, near high of days, you're up about 22%, announcing a partnership with Amazon Health Services. Good look for that one. Next up here, we have Microvast, MVST. This one yesterday announcing the launch of its latest high-performance battery solution. So some battery-related announcements for MVST yesterday, and a 7% short float. Last but not least, we have DataC, DTSS. This one has run in the past. Nice volume pop in this most recent 3-minute candle, up more than 50%, making some announcements with regards to its FGAI multimodal agreement. So AI-related announcements sending DTSS to the upside.
Something just flushed, like everything just flushed. So we got out of Palantir, we got out of Microsoft, and then everything's kind of battled right back. So
when Bitcoin's breaking highs.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin's at 60,000 right now.
Market turns at
that
tops.
Went to 436 right there. Microsoft.
Did we break 60?
Went to 436 there, breaking lower. The market could lose again right now, but I've been sort of thinking, like, some of these individual stocks, that's too bad, because Microsoft's right back where we punched out of, which is fine. We could think about getting back in. I mean, the TQ's at 67.50 right here, could be something. We had looked at this level, it was a little bit higher. We looked at this yesterday, so not on our notes today, but this could be worth a little bit of a dip buy opportunity, as we've just bounced into the VWAP a couple times right now and into the 200 period. So let's take a little bit now on the futures and see if that will work out. Palantir has been a disaster. I mean, that's been basically trying to, I mean, that was fine. This last one was fine. It's just like, can't get a break. We thought it was going to go. We could have got out of the mall right there, and we didn't. And it's just like, once it breaks back, we didn't average back in, but there's the break at 36, and there's the out. So not great there. And then Microsoft, still be positive on it, but gave some back there as it breaks below that level one more time. And we were going to wait for 436. Maybe we should have. But right now, Microsoft battling back off of that dump out. So we'll see what these futures want to do. I'm just going to stick with the futures right now. They are breaking lower. We have a very basic position, a starter position, I should say, not basic, starter position right now as we're trying to break below. If we can get below like 67.30, then let's just get out, and maybe it's time to flip this market on its head again and just maybe think about going short. Remember though,
what's wild?
I saw some people in the chat just say like, we're still like Fed is not today. Like it's right. Like we don't need to be making all these like dramatic moves right here. So maybe we just sit on our hands for a minute and let this market calm down. So let's not average too much in to this futures play. And let's get something out if it does start popping a little bit here. But we're in it right now off of this dip down.
So just a very quick note here. Bitcoin's at 60,000 breaking highs. And as pointed out in the chat by Tammy in our chat, IWM is breaking out as well and absolutely flying to the upside as the market's starting to get a little bit weak. I'm talking about the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is pulling back in, but you do have a lot of strength elsewhere. I jumped into SoFi because that was relatively strong, but obviously with the 60,000 test, there should be some eyes on the usual for myself because Mara is about to break out. The tricky thing is, if we wake 60,000 and pull back, this would be one heck of a trap on Mara. But there's room to 1670 at the high. So there's room for it to trend. So I want to see how we react. We're back above 60,000 and looking pretty good. Yeah, I think Mara needs to be along. Affirm's about to retake 45, so I'm about to get, I think, 45 on the offer. The last time this happened, it didn't actually break out 45. Now it's going to attempt to make that break. I think Mara, any pullback in a prior high looks good. I like SoFi in here. Tesla, I like the trend in Tesla, but it's still trying to hold prior highs on the way back in after we got in and out twice on Tesla. Now it's holding VWAP. There's a bit of a better trend in on Tesla. This is starting to look a little bit better. Like you connected to where it broke out the bottom, and it's got a little bit of a double bottom. Now this is getting into Tesla on the other side of the trade. Instead of taking Tesla on the way down, let's try and get it on the way back up after it's testing this trend. Still no break of Affirm. Like Affirm is ridiculous. There's an iceberg at 45 on Affirm, and it's just not breaking that level, but it's still in the 90s. I'm going to try to pick up Tesla at VWAP. We're already in SoFi, and keep an eye on that 60,000 in Bitcoin. If it can hold on, I think Mars is going to look pretty good as well. Thank you very much.
Finally, we went back into it. Thank you, Randy, for that one. We need some more jolt, like this jolt in the market right now. Look what we just did. We went back into the futures, and there it goes, man. We just bought that dip on the futures, so we're long at 19,772. Now 30 handles in the money. Finally, man, we went back home, and we started trading the futures. But that's a really piss off about everything, man, about Palantir and about Microsoft. I'm glad we got out because it dipped a lot lower than that, but look where we are right now. Nicely back in, man. We were just long down here at 438.50, so we do wind up losing. We got out like at a great price, like 50. We got out at 50s basically. So we'll wind up losing about $1 on the last piece of Microsoft, which sucks because right now we're back, like we're up 30, 40 cents. So that's like, now it's going higher. Like this is a big, for me, it's a big difference. So that hurts. But at the end of the day, it's all good. We'll get some more out on the futures here as we go right back up into day's high. We said this was a level that we wanted to think about buying. So we did do that. Now let's see if it gets back upside. Man, that Palantir, man, that Microsoft has everything trying to battle back
even
now. Even Intel, yeah. So a little bit of a rough trade there on PLTR. I mean, I'm just upset that we got stopped out of both of those trades. This last take is fine on Palantir. I mean, I'm completely cool with it. It's too bad we got stopped out because you're right back to like levels that we wanted to get out of. I'm still going to go long though if we break this top. I think Palantir has a little ways to run still. Here comes TQs. Let's get something out at 84. There it goes if we can, and there it is. So a nice little rebound back for the market. Now about 40 handles or so in on this trade, or 30 handles in on this trade. We'll get some more out at the top if we can. We're offering 88s. We did not get filled there yet. But a nice move up. We're out of 1/3 of the trade.
Yeah, we just got some out of Tesla there as it retested 233, but like this is the struggle with some of the longs. As quickly as it bounces off VWAP and gets to 33, it's retesting VWAP again. So just like last time, if we lose this, I'm giving it to the local bottom. You know what? The money fills might be under VWAP. So if it loses VWAP, I'm giving it to the bottom of the trend, although my trend line is gone. So let's do that again. I mean, it's easy to see. I mean, you guys can connect those dots and I'll just hit save so it's there the next time. If we lose VWAP, you'd still be on trend underneath 231.50. So there's my 15-minute chart. There is that one just crashed. 231.50. As long as it can hold on to that, I think we're good. But I want the fills underneath VWAP. SoFi is very, very slowly breaking higher.
Oh.
So SoFi is up 2%. Remember, 830 is the big level on the daily at SoFi. So it's this that it needs to take next, and then it plays into $8.50 up here. So I think for myself, it's an add through 830, and then I'm going to be taking it out in front of 850 regardless. And then 850 is its own breakout. So I want to be adding through 830 on SoFi. Tesla, I'm going to be out of Tesla if it gets to 235 on this last bounce, but it's still a breakout at 235. The market's now starting to look a little bit stronger again. Let's see if these names can get back into the upside. Even NVIDIA is starting to go here. So the long's starting to work. Still no firm retake of 45 even, but that's still very much in play for me. And I keep wanting to go back over to Intel and find a way into the long. It might just be a breakout at 22, the way things are setting up here on Intel.
Did it go high? I mean, I was trying to break is it above VWAP?
It's well above VWAP.
Oh, man. Okay, I had a VWAP break idea there. Yeah, it was at 70 and I canceled it. That's too bad. I have the order right here canceled in my blotter. I was going to take that break. Should have done it, did not do it. That's okay. Focusing obviously on different names here. I took another piece. It doesn't seem like this wants to get too much higher than where we are right now. We're still waiting at 88. We'll take another piece out here at 84s and hopefully start to climb upside now on these TQQs as we'll wait to see what's going on with that one. Yeah, I mean, I really like that Intel trade. So those of you talking about that, I like. Microsoft, I like as well, but it already failed me once, twice, 3 times. Sold on that one. The SOXL that we keep talking, SOXL, that should have worked. Oh yeah, NYSE American Exchange right here. It was starting to break out. And then right now, we're starting to have a little top there at 32.20. Let's see about a push back into 32.80 right now. So that could be something that we definitely look at. 32.81 right there for that break. So we'll wait to see if SOXL can come back in. Good out there on the TQs as my chart needs to change. So we did get another piece out. We still have, a decent spot, about 60% left of this trade. I told you we were out of a third. We got another piece out right there. Let's go back over to Adara.
We do have Bitcoin here holding on just above that 60,000 level as of right now. Let's see if it can clear the last pretty significant bullish candle we had going back to Friday the 13th. Currently at around 60.2. Also, interestingly enough, we're bouncing off that 58,000 level on the daily after 3 days of downside. An interesting level in the past in the chart as well. Reading some notes here from crypto analysts saying some mixed pictures here ahead of the FOMC meeting tomorrow. Some people saying this could go up to 62,000. Others saying that crypto hasn't quite bottomed yet. So we'll have to see what direction BTC and crypto picks. But right now, a lot of these crypto names decisively green. Bitcoin up almost 4%. Ethereum up about 3%, now holding on to the 2350 level here after just being barely above 2300 earlier this morning. Also some strength here in Ripple, Dogecoin, Tron. None of these particularly strong, nothing up that I can see here more than 4%, but some nice moves upwards here for these crypto names ahead of what should be a pretty interesting FOMC meeting, guys.
All right, I'm
first contested meeting in a very, very long time.
Yes, finally something's going to be interesting tomorrow. We will wait.
We do not know what they're going to do, period.
Yeah, right. What was it? What was 65%, wasn't it?
65%. I can double check in a quick little second here. What are we sitting at right now on the Fed Watch tool? It's still probably 6. I'll refresh it in there live for you guys. Anyone can just go to CME Group, and it's the Fed Watch tool. You can Google it or whatever you want. But on a live update, let's see how these guys actually. Oh, now it doesn't want to load. Yeah.
Too many people are looking at it.
Too many people looking at it the same way. It was 65% last I checked. I'll let you guys know when it loads.
Where have you been surfing, Neil? What happened to your browser, bro?
I have so many tabs. It's still
he's searching up, did Josh Allen get hurt? No, he did not, so you're okay on that one. Look, guys, if you're looking to trade, I mean, tomorrow's going to be a great trading opportunity, but get involved right now with Real Trading Campus. Join us right here on our floor here in Toronto, plus many others. Make sure you hit apply. You can get involved ASAP. This is also a program that you can work on from home. What's in it for you? Join an exclusive community of like-minded individuals. You'll be brought in with a bunch of other traders. So that's the important thing here. Learn simulated and live markets. Learn how to interact and view live quotes, charting opportunities, flexibility to trade while still in school. I think that's something that's very, very important. Get that education and also get educated about the market. You'll start here. There's phases. Go to realtrading.com/campus to find out more about this. Minimum requirement of 8 hours a week, up to 16 hours of trading, trade review, and coaching by both Brankles and Wayne themselves, as seen live on some show called Trader TV. So again, you'll use our platform. You'll understand quotes the way we trade them. Look at all these live market participants. And the thing about Real Trading is we trade in over 30 plus markets in live. I believe it's over 50 plus markets in live mode as well as simulation. So not only can you put your wares to work in sim mode, but then once you hit those profit targets, you get into live. So prop trading on a campus level. The top part, right. So now we do have news and whatnot streaming at the top. Okay, so yeah, with key, look at that, GovX, SIGA, APLD, so that's going to be a monkeypox story. Yes. And then there it goes right now. Oh, the UK government, see now I'm obsessed with it, thanks Fabian. The UK government has procured 150 doses, so if you are in the UK, you no longer have to worry about Mpox, says me, not a doctor. Not medical advice.
Nope, that's medical advice.
Well, I mean, I don't think, look, from what I've heard, monkeypox, I mean, we'll wait for the, the National Health Organization that famously handled COVID perfectly. Yeah. Those guys, once they announce that it is a global threat is when we need to be very, very concerned. I do not believe that has happened yet for Mpox, but stay tuned for some SIGA and some GovX trading. Yeah, I mean, the health, we care about everybody's health, but certainly there's some movers out there. I know there's this GLMD that's halted. A couple of people have asked about that. That said, Tesla just came right back in, waited for under VWAP to get in. Would have said the over-under was going to be here. Like, it's hold these higher lows, but if you lose this local bottom, then the trend is getting broken on TSLA. So we bought dips. This is now the third time we're buying a dip. Well, technically the fourth time. First win, second loss. Damn you. Third, we're able to get a win. But now we want it underneath VWAP. Intel did not break. No, but Intel was such an easy so Intel... Damn. All right, we're at 99 right now, so I'm like, is it broken? There it goes. It just broke 22. My over-under level was $22 on Intel today. This is the first time since the open it is back above that price. So big move to the downside on Intel. I wish I could tell you it got to 21, but that's where I wanted to buy it, at that 21 level. I want to play longs back into pre-market lows here at 22.20. Scalp into that level, then hold for the pre-market highs in and around 40. So Intel still, what's weird is it's up 5.5%, but it's been a sell since the open until it caught that bid at 21.20, now breaking back out through 22. Should have had this maybe at VWAP, but it didn't quite give the setup that I was liking. I just heard something about KSS in my ear. We're going to scalp into 22.20, then hold the second half in here for that high at 22.40. Those are pre-market tops on Intel. This is finally starting to go. Like, it's finally going to the upside, but the home run would have been, like, 22 went to 23 yesterday. Whoa. 22 is trying to go 10 pennies here before it goes to first resistance here today on INTC. The market's starting to come back into the downside pretty heavily. Decent. I should be short in ARM, and I can't convince myself otherwise. Something here. No, this is the one that I like to the short side. Now it's about where can I even get in. It already failed the breakout. Putting in lower highs at a $1.40 feels like the place to maybe jump into this. I know I like it for weakness, and it might just break the bottom before I have any chance to get into it. But I like ARM shorts. It's just a matter of finding a setup here, and I haven't been able to. Yeah, I don't know, man. The futures are breaking lower. We just took down VWAP. We're going to be stuck in this TQQ trade here. It's not like we're long at 42s here. I mean, we just got some out at 40s. Okay, now it's coming back up. Maybe this is a trade. We're waiting for some 45s to fill just because of this move, quite violent move downside right here. So we'll see if we do get a little bit of a bump up. That'd be nice to try to support that one. But yeah, that was a pretty aggressive move right through there. Like that's some of that stuff that had stopped us out in the past of some of our plays there. So we had talked about where we like this name down into the 30s. So we'll take one last shot here on the triple Qs. This is the NASDAQ, of course. We're back. Okay, here we go. We are long this name. I mean, we could make, this is going to be my P&L number one stock. Yeah, pretty happy with that trade as it's trying to bounce back up. I did cancel my Palantir trade. I was going to go long. I mean, I kind of still like this trade, breaking through 30. I said under my breath there, maybe it wasn't under my breath at all, but like that Intel was such an easy trade there. I don't know why I canceled that. Everything is easy in hindsight. So it's just, this is what I was looking for. It's the same thing I looked for at Palantir. We did it twice in Palantir, it didn't work. But Intel, again, like Palantir today has gone sort of the other way. Like I know Intel did do that and based out and it's moved back up. So I guess they kind of look similar in that respect, but Palantir just really didn't get going yet. I thought we tried the break there of VWAP. Well, we did try it and it didn't work, faded out. That was a big mistake. So I am cautious of doing it again, but I kind of like this trade. Breaking through 32 now on Palantir. And I do have a new trade alert. Now it's Amazon. It's 30 cents in the money. We did buy this name off that bottom there. Let's get a piece out at 78. There it is right now. Hit the sirens for 30 cents in the money now as we buy that dip. We're looking for relatively strong names. So somebody in the chat there, I want to say thank you to whomever that was in the chat. There it is right here. Oscar plays. You tagged me, which was really good. And Neil, you said relatively strong for Amazon. So tips off to you. Enjoy some chicken wings while you watch your favorite team go, because that was an absolutely banger of a call right there by you. And this, honestly, I'm going to tip my own damn cap right now because boom, this is a good one right there on the futures. As there it goes, man. We're able to hold this one. Good trading there on the way back up. We wound up taking probably too many shares, but it does go back up to the upside right there. Nice trading on that. And we will watch out for Amazon back up to day's high. We took well on that as well. So really, it's going to be the Palantir show for me. It's going to be the big name that we're down on, and it's because we kept on chasing dreams, which turned out to be nightmares.
And guess what else is flying and showing relative strength? I've seen it a few times in the chat. Hog Rider AMD is going. All right. Well, if it wants to drag Intel with it, which just might have wicked me out. All right, I got wicked out of Intel at 22. Oh. If it holds 21.95, then I want to jump back in at 22. As long as it holds that first 5 cents underneath, then I want to be back in at that 22. But it is AMD, which is continuing to go. Okay, there's Intel back above. I'm going to get back in at 21s. But AMD is holding very, very nicely, well above VWAP. I would like to see this break 155 or maybe even 154.5. But I just reloaded on Intel, and we're going to go to Sector Watch with Adara. We know crypto's hot. What else is?
Really mixed board here. We have a lot of sectors with some strength, but then we also have health technology, some weakness here. Eli Lilly down about 1%. Could not see any catalyst on this one, but watch out for LLY. We have health services also pretty weak here. Communications to the downside. Retail trade also a bit mixed. It's worth noting here across the board, though, a lot of these mega cap names definitely leading the group. So we've got NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, all pretty strong here. Meta initially up more than 1%, but giving back some of the move. Other sectors here of note include consumer services. We've got commercial services, pretty good. Transportation, Uber here up about 2%. But to pivot quickly back to these tech sectors, both of them holding up pretty well. But I want to mention Accenture here, ACN in technology services. This one trading lower here pretty significantly after we had some traders circulating on social media. And around 10 a.m., some unconfirmed rumors that the company is going to be postponing some updates here for about promotions here for up to about 6 months. Again, unconfirmed, but ACN to the downside by about 4% in those rumors, guys.
All right. We just got triggered into Palantir. I'm not sure if it broke 30 or not, but we're long above 30, so I guess it did. But, okay, so we just got out of a piece there because I was like, that didn't break. So I got out of a third of it, and now it's going to try to go. So we're into Palantir. We talked about wanting a VWAP break, so let's just see if it works. I mean, right now, I mean, it's justified. So I think we can probably, let's just buy some more right now at this level. I want to give it back down into 50-period moving average. So right there, 36, like this kind of a drip down in 36.05. I mean, let's not average in until we get anywhere near this 36.13. So we'll hold on to this. Maybe Palantir wants to go. I mean, the futures look like they want to go a little bit. So we'll wait to see if that is true or not. And we don't want to give back all the money that we've made. I mean, look what Amazon's doing. This is a big trade. Again, I want to thank Oscar Plays for that one as well. The futures went up. We did get an 80 fill there on the TQQ. So this is a banger right now, honestly. We bought that dip. We were lucky enough to sit right into the mouth of this. We weren't going to wait this far down. So we were lucky to get this fill and not get punched out, but still a nice move back up. And I don't know if we're lucky or not. It just looks like it was a good trade, so that's pretty good. Amazon, where can we go now? I mean, 190 is huge for Amazon. This is a big level again coming into play. So let's see if we take it. It kind of feels like more real estate upside, but we got burned on Microsoft waiting for a much bigger move that didn't wind up happening. So 189.80, maybe that would be pretty sweet. I'm going to wait at 189.40. See if we can get a piece out. Really long the TQs, which has been great, and we're into Palantir. Let's see where we can go on this name. I haven't sold anything. That was an out, but now we're back in. So maybe 40s or so on Palantir. Let's just make a little bit back. It's been a much better second part to our day than first part as the market sort of settled back down. And Neil, we're just at highs again. We've already been here over and over again. So the cat came back.
The very next day. And speaking of right back, finally affirmed, it did take 45 this time. Like this time, I still got an 01 print, which is weird because I set the stop for a 2.
Exactly.
So it's, okay, look, I'm in it at 01, and 45, it got over, and I set my stop for a break of 02 because I didn't want to get triggered in if it didn't go, and I still was able to get filled at 01. So it might have triggered early, but it got higher, so whatever. I'm going to give this to 90. It's not exactly flying to the upside. SoFi, again, why do we like, if you're just tuning in now, why the attention to 45 on a firm? This is why. And it's got a potential for a squeeze name. SoFi is still trending into the 830. Just want to zoom out and show you that's the 830 top. So I'm getting half out into 830. And then if 830 breaks on SoFi, I'm adding on a break of 830. But you know what? It's a very special day here today at Trader TV Live. And when we have a very special day, sometimes we have a special guest. So we've got Mr. Mendel in the building. Okay. Jeff Mendel from the OTC Markets. What up, Jeff? How's it going?
So you got your hair cut?
I know you were at Fun Golfing last week, but good to see you here.
Well, you know, so first of all, I'm not dialing in from where I normally do at the office, but I had to because I heard it was Katina's 21st birthday.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Mendel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you, much appreciated,
yeah, guys.
Market ripping.
Cowboys, okay, we saw what happened.
We did.
Buffalo, we saw what happened. Okay, so can we get that part over with?
What happened? I didn't see anything that happened. What happened exactly?
What happened What happened to the?
They won.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Just double checking.
Took care of business. The Cowboys did not. I'm just getting it all out right now.
I do have to say something.
So hold on a second. Just so the viewers know, I believe if the Bills do better than the Cowboys this year, you're going to have to paint your face and just do like just some kind of a Buffalo Bills logo. And if the Cowboys do better, I was going to do a Cowboys logo on my face and then on live on the show. Right?
That's what it's going to be then. Okay.
Well, didn't okay.
Here it is. It's it. It's official.
The bet is
Paint my face.
Not yet. We'll wait to see.
End of the year, brother.
Here.
End of the year.
Yeah, let's hold on. Right now, Amazon's $1 in the money. The Nasdaq's starting to rip up. Mr. Mendel, it was great seeing you on Friday, and I got to give a big congratulations to you and your team there for putting that over with. You took that victory, minus 12. I wanted to ask you, how many of those minuses did you participate in with your shots?
A decent amount, actually. So, it was a great team effort. It was
I do have to.
a great team effort, and we're looking to do it again this week.
Good. I did see this man play. He's a great golfer. So shout out to Jeff Mendel. All right. Yesterday we saw Tupperware virtually looking to declare bankruptcy. They're now not on the NYSE. Any talk of them coming down to the OTC markets? Have you heard anything?
So I have not heard anything in particular about that, but just to run through that really quick. Once notice goes out, once there's a corporate action, and FINRA kind of puts out a new symbol, we take that, we send it out to our subscribers, we put it in our system, we make sure that it's ready to trade. We make sure that it's ready to trade the next day, right? We put it in the proper tier, and we make it so everyone can put their quotes in and actually get it up and running. So that way, if you are a shareholder or you want to continue trading it, it's ready for investors or for traders to jump in there. And we try and make it as smooth as possible, guys.
Yeah, and that's important. So for anyone out there, because look, when the news hit last night on TUP, it was open, and they didn't actually halt the stock. They allowed it to trade into the close. So I feel like there's always a few people that take those kind of trades, and they're like, well, now what do I do? And I've seen this before, where sometimes you'll get like a little bit of a bump or a relief rally on the OTC markets. But speaking of today, we had a lot of the Chinese ADRs were actually making pretty solid moves here. And you're going to have the usual leaders in here, most active, and Tencent's going to be up there. But what are you seeing in terms of activity? I mean, you've got Tencent leading the way. We saw Baba and Neil start to go. So a lot of times you might see things like Mr. Buffett's favorite BYD start to run. But what are you seeing as terms of active names? I know pure volume, it's Tencent today leading the way.
Yeah, and so so I was taking a look at a couple of those names today. So Luckin Coffee was up, I think, about 3 to 5%, bouncing around in there. The weird thing about Luckin Coffee is, even though it's one of those 5 letters ending in Y, it's not an actual ADR. Like, there's no local listing over there. So this thing trades here in the U.S. and very recognizable name, and also like you were saying, towards the top of. As far as trading activity goes. And so, I think it was up 55 cents last time.
Yep, here it is.
Checked.
Up 3%, Jeff.
Right around there. So, that's something to look at. BYDDY is I think it was up a couple percent. Sorry, guys, I'm going off of one screen here.
No, come on. I have it on our screen. I have it on our screen if you could see, Jeff, as well. So there's BY.
So decent amount of activity, and then you have some of your European ADRs as well too, right? And so typically when some are going, kind of all of them are moving around. And so actually, if you take a look at that page that Sean had up. If you check it out, it looks like all ADRs leading the way here at OTC markets. And, the way that you can tell that is if it's a 5-letter symbol ending in a Y, Louis Vuitton, another great one, right? So that's a great way to kind of check it out and look for international brands that are trading here on OTC markets.
Rolls-Royce.
Perfect example today.
Yeah, we got Rolls-Royce over there. And these are the only places you can trade them here with US dollars. So like Rolls-Royce, a good one. Adidas, we've talked about Nintendo's as well, right? I mean, you can come in, check out what's happening in the Asian markets and then go over to your exchange as well.
Speaking of that, important to ask you here, what's going on with 24-hour trading? Here, Jeff, because I know you guys are making a big push into that, and that could be very big. A lot of our viewers, we have viewers all across the world, and there's always something that you can be trading and always something that's moving. So what's new for you along those lines?
Yeah, so actually last week we just made an announcement, and we also went live with a 24/5 like trading product. So that means so New York time, right? East Coast time, it's 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Starting Sunday night at 8 p.m. and going through Friday morning at 4 a.m. And so really, it's a way to kind of, give investors access on their time, their daytime, elsewhere in the world. And also, if there's any insomniacs here in the U.S., they can log in at nighttime. But really, it's about access to trade these names. One thing, like you were saying, access to trade all of these names in USD out of your trading account, however you access the marketplace. And so, this is something where I think it's going to continue to grow. People have been doing it on the listed side for a few years now. But we figured why not add it's access to 8,000 plus more securities. And so, if there's something moving, you can get a better jump on it, or you can just have access and vision kind of into this stuff. So we're really excited about it. And thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think it's fantastic. And as you said, a lot of the names that are going to be traded, they're going to report off hours. If it's an Asian name or a European ADR, you're going to get an earnings report, and it's not going to be at our regular times, like right after market close. Like, you're going to want to be able to trade that all throughout the day. You never really know when news is also going to hit. Right. Buffett sells some BYD or buy some, and you want to be able to trade. And I think it's a fantastic look there for you guys. Jeff, anything on the closes? Closing and balances?
Still working on it. So we do have a closing auction out there, it's available on a few different names. Right, it's not across the board. Right, it's on some of the more active names. We're seeing some prints go off in that. And it's a new concept, right? And so it's like imagine if the CSE were to come out with a closing auction, right? It's a new concept. It takes time for people to kind of get in there, but we have people in there that are providing liquidity, ready to take on a market on close or limited on close order. And it's in a lot of the names that we talk about every day too, right? So it's, the popular ones like Tencent, Roche, Luckin, DD, and also some of the Canadian names as well too. Some of those 5-letter F shares. And so, relatively new product, new concept for the space, but it's out there and it's ready to go. And if your broker has access to it, definitely something to check out.
Jeff, thank you so much for all your information.
Yes,
thank you for the birthday wishes. And I'm glad that we all got the memo today with the gray golf shirts. I think thank you to Mashworth there in the chat, bringing that up one more time. Good luck on your round. May your shots be long and straight. That is Jeff Mendel from the OTC markets. Any last words, Mr. Mendel?
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. That's it. Thank you, Jeff. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us.
I was going to say
thank you for the birthday wishes. That is Jeffrey.
No, I was supposed to be like, yo, have a great day, Jeff, and all that nonsense. You're going to throw in a Go Cowboys after
he did. He went
after
there.
The throttling that they just got by David Carr.
That was very surprising.
David Carr. David Carr looked like Tom Brady out there. Come on. What are we even doing, Dallas Cowboys? And I don't want to hear from you either, Sharif.
Where the hell's Parsons at?
But, Parsons couldn't. And he's the best.
Malik Willis threw the ball like 5 times, and we still got the victory. The Colts surprised me, man. I thought they would have been a little more high-powered than that with AR over there.
So the market did, by the way, make a fresh high. I know it's backing off of that high, but we did get a fresh high test up there. Intel, my 15 is doing better than my 3-minute chart, so I'm going to be using a lot of my 15-minute chart until I get a chance to log back out. But Intel made the break of 22. Dip back into 22. It's angling for that pre-market. It's not technically pre-market highs at 22.40, but it was the sideways top at 22.40. So it gets there. I'm going to take another leg out. If there haven't been many good longs, I'll tell you, a bunch of them have stunk today. But Intel starting to go. Didn't get it until it got back above 22. But we didn't get that 21 level just yet. SoFi still working to the upside. But as you all know here, we have about 4 minutes to go, and we're going to be going over the midday show. But as everyone knows, today is Sean's birthday today.
Wait, what?
Turning 21 today. It also, just for everybody else out there, if you don't know, it's also Sean's brother's birthday as well. So Michael,
31.
Happy birthday to Michael. You're turning 31, so he's turning, 20, 30?
Something 30? Similar.
But, so for that, we have a little special something which Fabian has teed up.
You got to pause it. Where's Neil? There's Neil.
We're so drunk there.
There we go, Hulk Hogan. Oh, that's nice. That's my kid, yeah. There's Neil. There we are, football job.
That was this
Oh, that's
year.
really nice. Where are these, from Facebook or something? Yeah, that's today.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Look at that.
That's the seat.
No proof. There's the wedding.
Yes, sir. There it is.
There's some couple
Jeff,
kids there
his
with
kid.
Jeff, yeah. There's Neil in the middle again.
Usher.
Usher's in the building. There's me,
There's
my brother,
Debs. Oh,
and my
that's
mother.
a
Yes,
great
love
day.
her so much. There's my grandfather playing baseball again. Yeah. There's Neil. Look how serious Neil is in the middle there. Most gangster guy you've ever seen. There's Neil again. How many pictures do you guys have? There's Neil again. Is this coming to an end? This is good. There's our draft.
There's the one.
There I am. See, I used to be cute, I think. There we go. Happy birthday with the thumbs up. All right. Thank you so much for that one. Thank you to everybody for doing that up. Thank you, Neil.
So I want to
for all of that.
No, I have to say a very big thank you, obviously, to Fabian and the team for putting it like there. Very big thank you to Marissa.
Yeah, I hope my mom was watching.
So Marissa obviously procured some of the family
Yes,
pictures,
good. Thank
and then
you,
a shout out
Marissa.
to all our
That was
boys
very
from
nice.
high school because
that was
we
sweet.
had like a secret WhatsApp group for everyone to send in some pics.
Why is nobody
for
in
that.
their WhatsApp group saying happy birthday to me? I'm going to go over there.
No, because I told them we were going to do this on the show.
Okay. I
guess maybe
started getting like some kind of ways.
No, they knew this was coming. All the
That's
boys
really
knew this
sweet.
one was
Those
coming.
were great
So
pictures, man.
happy birthday, Sean. We got the eclairs locked and loaded, ready
Yes,
to go.
man. Yes, man.
I'm
That was
excited
very,
for
very
them,
special.
but happy 31st
Wow.
for you. Happy 30th.
Now you guys had the
for-
bar so high. Like for everybody else's birthday, we're going to have to go ham. That's crazy. Please,
I
everybody,
ain't trying
write
to
down
be here
your
on my
birthdays.
birthday because
I gotta
it's,
make sure that
my birthday is like after Christmas, man. I'm
Yeah.
always trying to take that day off.
that was really
Who's
nice.
next?
Sharif, I think. When is Sharif's
Yo,
birthday?
Ramin just
man.
yelled out that her birthday is
Wait a minute,
next.
Adara's, I think, is coming up.
No,
January 1st. I'm really failing at this. So I guess it's Neil is next in December.
it's Adara. It's Adara's. No, sorry. Ramin is next. Ramin.
No, Ramin.
Ramin.
And that was really nice.
October 25th. I don't.
All right.
man.
Well, that was really good. So we're now we're going back and forth debating whose birthday is next. We'll get it all figured
knows?
out. But thank you. Yeah, very nice birthday. I don't know what the plan is for tonight. Ever since I introduced my daughter to shawarmas, it's now her favorite word and her favorite food, all wrapped up into one. So we got some shawarma over the weekend, and maybe that's what's happening tonight. But I like Burgers Priest, my favorite burger place. Shawarma party. There we go. Marissa.
I'm down with
Hey,
that.
Marissa, thank you so much for helping organize all of that. She is now in the chat, so that was really special. Wow, I wonder how
Ari
that was really nice
Pages.
you guys did that.
Oh, interesting. Ari says we used to do this.
What was it?
21 punches to Sean's shoulder.
No, that even 2 or 3 punches would probably
We
be
used
enough.
to give beats back
used
in
to be-
high school. We
It used to be called birthday beats. The market's dropping right now, by the way.
Intel's coming back into 22. Whoa.
So, yeah, maybe
what's
it's not a
this hit?
shawarma party as the market comes right back down. I don't know what just happened. The market was at days high, and it just fell back in one more time as we get more Amazon shares here on a drip back through. So like my RRSP, we're getting some drip happening right now in the market. So TQQ's nice downside play that we just got stopped out. I'm going to go buy a little bit more there because we got out of pretty much all of it near the top. So we will get stopped out there. But let's buy a little bit back in and see what happens. There goes Amazon. I mean, again, sitting in front of 188.32. So with only a couple seconds left, thank you to everybody around here. Thank you to my lovely wife and to the team over there, Andre.
Thanks,
I have no idea who did that, but that was absolutely fantastic. First time something like that's been done. So thank you to our production team. Thank you to Neil for procuring some of those pictures.
It was really
from our
easy.
friends. No,
Everyone
I mean,
was-
those guys are great, honestly. We spend a lot of time with our friends, as I hope a lot of you do too.
Well, it's all about.
And we have a dinner coming up, hopefully, where we're all going to get together as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, very special moment there. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you to Sharif for running out and grabbing those eclairs. Adair, Ramin, Brendan, Neil, Fabian, Adrian. I probably missed more. Mark was there, Rob, Randy, everybody involved in the show, and everybody out there too. Thank you so much for another great show.
Yeah, let's go get it. And it's 11 o'clock, but it was okay. We had a good reason to go over time. And we'll be back at 2, day before the Fed. But it's now Learn to Trade. We've got Adara, we've got Sharif. Go get them.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That is your girl Adara in the lovely suit, and I am